That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Thank whoever you pray to that the Sixers didn't get fleeced today. Welcome in, everybody. This is AM and the PM / The Fix crossover only on A2D Radio. Every show we are brought to you by, I don't know why that just went back up. My mouse is having fun with me. Good times. Good start.
Hey, it's probably excited.
Every show we are brought to you by our doc, make them yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Look at all the people in the house. Jam-packed show. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brotto, Frank Vespi, Ralph Delvecchio, Greg Mockvick, Doug Stasic in the house from BFA Productions, Nate Moss in the house from Money Podcast.
There you go.
We do.
Make sure you don't fumble that.
I almost fumbled, man.
You almost did. That's why I said it.
I had a lot of people to say right there. I had a lot of introductions. Guys, thanks for joining us. We're going to have a ton of fun tonight. We'll get into a little bit what obviously Doug and Nate do on their own. We'll talk about that throughout the show as well. Listen, we got a ton to talk about, and we thought we were going to be maybe talking more head coaching candidates for the Eagles, but that's going to be saved to Friday because there's no need to even bring it up because so much is going on. But NFL playoff picks against the spread, we'll do that at the end of the show. Flyer season began today, and it began with a 6-3 win over the hated Penguins. Great start to the season. And listen, wing scoring like we talked about before. We'll get into all the Flyer stuff later on in the show. We'll play a little game of agree or disagree, something me and Nate do every Saturday morning at 10:30, whenever we come on. Money Pop Podcast. We jump on. We play a little game. I'm 3-0. Now you're on. I'm going to say I'm 3-0 when we're on you. When I'm with you, you say
Okay.
That's how we're going to work that.
All right, God, I'll take it. Go ahead. Your show. Let's go.
Our main topic at hand is the Sixers don't get James Harden. And it ties into our poll question brought to you by allcampusoc.com. Use discount code A2D. 15% off all your team hats. If they don't have it in stock, find John Coyle on Messenger, on Facebook, Instagram. Find them, message them, and say, Tom said you can get me any hat I wanted. And it's simple as that. Allcampusoc.com. Use discount code A2D. 15% off. Our poll question, the Sixers not trading for James Harden was a mistake. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, download. Join the conversation tonight. Okay, because I know there's a lot of people out there that wanted Harden, and they feel like this is a big miss. Okay, I'll read off, as we go through the show, I'll read off some of DeMarcus Cousins' comments. Can't believe I would ever agree with DeMarcus Cousins, and he's the good guy, but we'll read off some of that, and we'll get people's opinions on that. Just to start it off, the Sixers not trading for James Harden was a mistake. I completely disagree. You can say whatever you want. The Nets got absolutely fleeced today. And if anybody thinks that's a good deal down the road for them, they're delusional. Houston made out like a bandit, okay? And I even think to get Oladipo there at all that and on a 1-year deal. So, I mean, Houston really made out with flexibility in this deal, and the Nets went all in to win now. Listen, they're getting a guy who has proven this year that he's a me guy and a selfish guy. And the only reason they would win is because they have Kevin Durant on their team. It's as simple as that. They got two of the most selfish athletes in professional sports on their team, and one Kyrie Irving, who disrespects his coach consistently. Guy just got there, Hall of Famer, but he's disrespected him already. Okay, and the other one, who I never thought was really that much of a crumb, officially said, "Hey, I'm here to play too." And I'm a big crumb because I'm going to treat my teammates in Houston like crap. I'm going to treat the organization that invested so much money into me like crap, and I never won anything. So good for James Harden. I disagree completely. This is Ben Simmons came out today and said that he's glad he wasn't traded. He wants to be here. That's good to hear. At least he said something. I'm happy that Daryl Morey is making these decisions and not letting himself get fleeced in a deal like this. I'm in for like a Bradley Beal for sure. Nobody's out on that, on a guy like that. But to trade for a 31-year-old at the downside of his career, looks like he's 350 pounds. I'm probably in better shape than him. I haven't worked out in 3 years. So, take that for what it is. Guy looked out of shape, and I know, he can drop 20, 25. I'm not trading Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, 49 million picks, okay, for a loser who has never got over the hump. Because every great player gets over the hump one time. One time they just find every blind squirrel finds a nut. So every great player gets over the hump, or at least gets to a finals. Okay? They get there. Guy can never get over the hump in the West. I don't want to hear excuses anymore. Let the Nets have him. Him and Kyrie will miss 2,000 games this year. They'll complain about everything else but them. And Kevin Durant's going to have to be the guy who keeps things in check there. This is amazing. I disagree completely. Let's go to one of our guests first. Whatever one of you guys want to dive into this. The Sixers not trading for James Harden was a mistake. Agree or disagree? Doug, Nate, whoever wants to take it, go ahead.
Hey, I'll jump on here since I'm the one who looks like James Harden the most. I throw my Flyers hat on just to make sure I fit in with the team. But hey, I think I definitely agree here. I wouldn't have traded that. Now let's go back to what you were saying, Tom. I think Houston got killed in this deal. I think it's the other way around. I think the Nets won on this deal. If you think about it, Harden, when he first came in and played, what did he drop? 14, 10, and 17? And he did that as looking like me, out of shape, big, and slow. But he still dropped it. He's a walking bucket, period. He can get you 30, not 20, not 25. He'll get you 30 a night. And when he's motivated, he'll show up when it's time to play. Now, if you look on the other side with the Houston Rockets, they got killed in this deal. They got 4 first-round picks. Brooklyn's going to be a top 3 team every year. So they really just got the end of the draft. If you think about it, they got a lot of second-round picks there, those 4th-round picks. I think Houston really didn't get anything in this deal. I actually liked the deal for Brooklyn. I wouldn't have done it for the Sixers. I would have traded Ben Simmons and probably a pick. I wouldn't have gave up Maxey. I would have gave up Matisse, though, and Simmons. You can't give up on a player like that. He's a walking bucket. That's what we need. We're still looking for a scorer on our team, and he is it. He would have put us in the top 3 easily in this division, and we could have won out if we had James Harden on this team.
I got to disagree too, man. Tom, I'm with you. As far as $130 million contract to this guy over the next 3 years, you give away 4 first-round picks, you exchange another 4 picks. It's a hot mess. They got old, man. The Nets might be in a win now scenario. We're not. We trusted the process for all those friggin' years, and now it's our time to shine. We started off, we were hot. We get struck with the COVID bug, and I got to tell you, I think this is probably one of the worst years that you actually could pull this off because right now, can't get into the arena more than 3 hours before a game, can't have a team meeting that's more than 10 minutes. So how the hell, if you're Steve Nash, do you actually put this team back together and make it look like it was worth it? Hell no, totally disagree.
Couldn't agree more. I know what Nate's saying, and it makes sense on that end. I just think, like Doug said, you were 7-1. You got off to a hot start. The one thing that Ben does do great is he's a great defender. And you know what? You win by defense. Joel Embiid's our closer. If anybody's missed it, Joel Embiid is going to be an MVP candidate, top 5 player in the year, top 5 player in the league by the end of the year. He showed his dominance last night. Granted, I know he outsized all the guys he was going up against last night. I get that, but you still have to get to the line and show your aggressiveness and show you can be a closer. And I'm watching a big man in this league show he can close games out.
Do you think he's an MVP though? Do you really put him in the MVP conversation? Because I don't.
Right now,
he should be doing this night in, night out. 43-15. There's nobody in the league with his skill set outside of Jokic. He should be killing everybody. He's not doing that. He's giving you 28 and 8, maybe 25 and 12. I need that consistently. He needs to dominate consistently every night. I need to see Shaq numbers. I need to see 30 plus and 12 every night because there's nobody on this planet who can guard him one-on-one. Not one.
Totally fair. Consistency is the biggest issue from all the guys on this team. You know, I there was never a day. If there was a day Ben Simmons was traded, it should have been today for me because, you know, like I wasn't trying to deal him, but I was aggravated last night. I mean, that's a game where you're missing a ton of guys, and I need you to be aggressive. And the fact that you took 2 shots, you're 6'10", maybe 6'11" now because you grew. It's disgusting. I'll go put up 10 shots. All right, I'm watching Danny Green, who made a ton of shots last night, have no problem.
Finally.
Tyrese Maxey Gregg is shooting from a logo. I mean, there was 4 different occasions in that game from inside the 3 where nobody was around the guy. Like, just give me the elbow. Just give me the elbow. If you miss it, so what? And that's what's hurting this team offensively. But guess what? When they were all playing together, we weren't worried about Ben Simmons' scoring as much because everybody around him was scoring, right? So it's like, okay, we were sitting on these airways saying, well, what does he do great? And the fact that he plays great defense, he gets other guys involved, he's an unselfish guy, is a part of the reason we were 7-1. So I don't want to give up. Like Doug said, I don't want to give up on this process yet. And I sure as heck don't want to give up on a guy who's been a known loser. I mean, the only thing that got him close was Chris Paul. And everybody, but Chris Paul got hurt. That's why he didn't get over. Come on. If you're great, you can be great for a game 7 one time. I mean, one time. Not twice. I'm not asking for it twice. One time.
They were up 3-2 in that series, too.
Yep. And so that's what worries me about Harden. It always has. We'll stay down there. Greg, what do you say to the poll? And then Rye, Frank, Ralphie. Good to see you.
I guess I disagree. I forget what the actual wording is. Sorry.
It was a tough one, man. Don't worry, Greg. I was confused as hell, too. Whoever wrote that, Tom.
Not trading for a mistake was a mistake. No, disagree. Tommy, you kind of hit all the points. I was not a fan of James Harden even coming into this game, coming into this season, coming into this year. I was on record saying I'd become an Orlando Magic fan since I'm still down here. If James Harden would have become on the Sixers, that's how much I didn't want him. I wouldn't have traded the back half of the bench for James Harden. I just am not a big fan of James. Just think he's a product of today's NBA, and today's NBA is just not very good product. I'm glad that we didn't get put into this deal, and I'm glad we're out of it. And now we just got to deal with him, which is fine. We'll bring Corey Brewer back on a couple 10-day years to D him up, and we'll be good.
Marquise, what are you talking about? I love you. I respect that. Everything you say, I usually agree with. This one, I completely disagree with. Nobody in their right mind thought KD was a loser in Oklahoma City. Nobody in their right mind sat around and said KD was a loser. He's a sniper. He was a killer. He wasn't a selfish guy. There was never anything tied to KD selfish. You never heard that. You've heard it about Harden. You've heard it about Kyrie. You've heard it about other players. I've never heard that about KD besides being a great teammate. Never heard that. So to call him a loser when he left there at what, 28? When did he leave? When did he leave Oklahoma City, guys? I don't remember exactly, but he wasn't 31 at the later part of his career.
Who are you talking about, KD?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in early. I don't even think KD's 30 yet, is he? Or he just turned 30?
Like 30,
sure.
Right? I think he's like the same.
He might have just turned 30.
He had 28, absolutely 28.
Yeah, he's not 30 yet. Yeah.
How was he a loser when he left Oklahoma City? Marquise, he was 11. He was a puppy. I mean, he was still being nursed. What are you talking about? I love you to death, but what are you talking about? He wasn't a loser at 25. This is what we do in the NBA. We assume losers at 25 years old. Like we've never watched a game our whole entire lives and realize that veterans win. Vets win. Puppies don't win in the NBA. It just doesn't happen. I love you, Marquise. Stay hot. All right. I know you're a big Harden guy, and you're trying to come in here and figure ways out to make it fit, but it's not going to fit tonight. Rye, what do you say to the poll?
It was tough for me, going through all this for the first, handful of hours when it looked like, hey, he was going to come to the Sixers or he was going to go to the Nets, because I was one of the few that would have liked to see what an offense with Joel Embiid and Harden at the top of that would have looked like. I think it would have been really hard to guard. I think it would have been really hard to defend. I think we'd be walking into an arena on a bad night and you would have a combined 60, 65 points just with the two of them stepping on the court. But with that being said, with what it goes into on what we would have had to have given up, which was Simmons, Thibault, Matisse, and then obviously you look at Maxey and then, a handful of picks. I'm not making that move. I'm not doing that. I'm not really willing to get rid of Maxey right now. I'm not saying he's untouchable, but I'm not going to just go out and panic. And it would have been kind of a panic move right now. And to go out and give Maxey in the deal, throw all those picks that we really didn't even have when you compare it to Brooklyn and then you look at the Cavaliers part of the deal. Because I keep going back to it. James Harden is not the only superstar that we can get in this city via trade. You know what I'm saying? As frustrated as I am with the Sixers as a whole right now and Ben Simmons, just the way he is and the way he doesn't do what he's supposed to do.
Why are you frustrated with the Sixers right now? We were just talking. We were just kumbayaing before COVID hit. Are you frustrated with
No. That's what I'm frustrated.
You just said you're frustrated with.
That's what I'm frustrated with. I'm frustrated with the COVID situation. That's what I'm frustrated with. That's the team.
Right.
No, I'm frustrated with the last friggin' 5 days of the thing. No, the Sixers are fine. They're 7-3. We're 8-3. Whatever. They're cool. We're fine. But my point is, when you look at it, if we need to get rid of Ben Simmons, there's other guys out there that we can deal him for. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of time for that. The trade deadline wasn't 2 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of time. What are we, Tom? 15 games into the season? Well, we haven't even reached that true.
Well,
we haven't even reached that dissection point where we're like, okay, we have to make a decision now. Simmons needs to wake the hell up. That's obvious, but I would have liked to see what James Harden would have looked like next to Embiid in an offense. I think that would have been a really good chance to win a championship this year, or at least win the East. But given what we would have had to have given up, I'm not making that move.
And nobody was complaining. That's the thing. You just take a time machine back 2 weeks. We love this team. So all of a sudden, not you, right? All of a sudden, because we didn't make a Harden deal, it's the end of the world, and we're not. Yeah. We can't win the East. I just win the East before we even talked about trading anybody. That's why I didn't want to trade anybody. And if COVID didn't hit, I mean, I don't know where we would be. We would probably be better than 8-4. I'll tell you guys that much. And
but you got to look at it too. If we're in the game to win championships, right? We're not in to win regular season participation trophies. We're not getting past. We're not going to beat Boston. We can't, for whatever reason, we can't beat Boston in a 7-game series, right? We can't beat the Bucks, right? There's still Miami out there. The Pacers got better. I mean, we just played a nobody Miami Heat, and we went to overtime. We needed 43 and 15 from Embiid to win. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So does Harden get you over the hump? Because you're going to need somebody else to score. Now, Harris has been coming around. Danny's been hit or miss. Maxey has looked good. He shined that one game. He had 39 points, right? But this is how he mix in. And we all know what's him. I'm going to tell you right now, I've hated Ben Simmons forever. I can't stand him. I really can't, because I don't understand why he practices shooting in practice but doesn't do it in the game.
Thank you.
And we saw it. I think they've replayed it over and over again all across social media. When he had an open lane, he drives to the lane like a deer with headlights, and he stops at the foul line. He has a quick little jumper there. He has no post moves. He can do a little awkward hood. He's awkwardly athletic. It's just weird to see him in his footwork and how he does in the paint. He should be dominating, right? Yeah. Even if he doesn't score. I like how Doc is using him. He's letting him play the game. But then yesterday was just a reminder of what he is. He's exactly what he is. We have to find a way to use him. And if Harden would have over that hump, I would have traded for him. Definitely.
At 24, that's going to happen, though. I mean, that's going to happen. He's going to have regression games. He's trying to adjust to a new coach. And the one thing that Ben Simmons is, he's passive. Not so much as passing the ball, but he's passive. He kind of reminds me of the first year and a half, 2 years that Pippen was with the Bulls, really back in the 90s. I don't know where I fit in on this team. I don't know. Am I supposed to be the guy? I'm not supposed to be the guy. And I think eventually he's not hurting us at 24. So I don't think we're in a rush. It's not like the guy messes up the team chemistry.
Yeah, and he's not going to lose his value on what he is next year, right? So if this year doesn't work out and Daryl Morey and Doc and Elton are able to take a step back and evaluate it and say, you know what, maybe we do move on from him. But I want the smart guys in this organization to see him for some time, right? Before they make a rash rush to judgment that could set this franchise back. And then we're talking about a process 2 years from now or 3 years from now. That's not what I want. I wanted, and I think we all wanted, longevity and success for not just a minute, but for a decent amount of period of time. And we thought that we could be successful here for an 8-year stretch. Well, we're 2 years in to that, in my opinion, successful-ish stretch regular season-wise, right? Maybe 3. probably going into our fourth. So now it's time where, hey, you got to get to an Eastern Conference Finals, Nate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if you don't, then I'm going to judge you guys all hard, because then you're showing me you can't get over the little humps, right? Like when I talk about Jordan never winning and other guys never win until they got older, they always showed progress of getting better. And this year, offensively, he hasn't shown me that. He actually has shown me the opposite. From the free throw line, he hasn't been good. All right. I expected his scoring to go down a little bit because there's so many scorers around him. Let's remember that too. Seth Curry's a sniper. Tobias Harris walks into 18 a night. Just what he does. If we like him or don't like him. We talk about a lot. There's only one basketball to go around. And I want a guy running my point guard position that's going to be a pass first guy, though, even though he drives me crazy. But last night, Nate's right. It just shows you, if you expect it to just be him and Embiid and him to give you 25 and Embiid give you 40, you're lying to yourself right now. Can it happen 2 years from now? I would say I hope so, but I also said that 2 years ago from here, 2 years ago previously. So, I mean, this is where we are. Frank, to the poll, what do you say, brother?
You know, I disagree to the poll. This was not a mistake by the Sixers, and, you know, what I saw, what the Nets, the Cavs, and the Pacers gave up in order to make this trade happen. I'm glad we did not make this move. Now, in terms of the Nets, you know, I wasn't high on the Nets going into this season. I think I said it a couple weeks ago, probably before the season started, that I had the Nets make a move for James Harden and probably not finish in the top four in the East. So, actually, it did have them fourth in the East. What am I saying? But there's going to be some problems on that team. It's going to remind me of that episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Will and Carlton were arguing for the ball in the last shot of the game, and I hope I see games like that throughout the rest of the season. So for me, I disagree with the poll. I still think we are going to be a top 3 team in the East. I'm not worried about Brooklyn one bit.
Ralphie? The Lakers crumb.
Well, here we are, fellas. You know.
Oh boy.
Here we go. Right.
All right, I'll get the
Harden,
mute ready.
Harden was right there for you guys to, you know, put your status in the East. You know, mark your stamp. Hey, we're coming for the East. We're coming for the finals. And you know, all those draft picks that you guys say, you know what? We're done with draft picks. We don't need no more draft picks. Just give them away. Well, you didn't do it this time around. Hopefully, you do it next time when Bradley Beal's available. For the poll, I'm going to go ahead and disagree. Trading for a 31-year-old guy who's coming down to his end of his career so far, and giving away a guy that's 23, 24 who hasn't hit his prime yet, I'm not doing it. If this would have been 2 years from now, and Ben's 25, 26, and the same stuff is going on, maybe you pull the trigger. But right now, as it is, a 23-year-old for a 31-year-old guy, I can't do that. Now, I'm not in the business of doing that. So I'm going to go disagree to the poll.
Gotcha. I want to read you guys DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which it's funny because, like we talked about when we started the show, DeMarcus Cousins is people think he's a bad teammate, and he's not. He just gets a bad rap, honestly, for all his technicals. But he's actually a good teammate. But he says, obviously, it's disrespectful, but everybody has a right to their opinion. We feel some type of way about some of his actions. I don't feel betrayed. My interest was playing with John Wall, to be perfectly honest. Nobody's interested in playing with John Wall.
Kentucky days.
Yeah, he's taking back to the Kentucky
former
days,
teammates.
Yeah, that's his brother.
I think nobody in the right mind.
Don't be taking no shots.
Come on, man.
But you're right. John Wall's never on the floor, so who really wants to play with him, right?
But I just praise DeMarcus Cousins. You know what I mean?
Marcus Cousins does.
Disrespect from Harden started way before any interview. Just his approach to training camp, showing up the way he did, the antics off the court, the disrespect started way before. This isn't something that all of a sudden happened last night. The other 14 guys in the locker room have done nothing to him. For us to be on the receiving end of disrespectful comments and antics, it's completely unfair to the rest of the guys in the locker room. And that's what kind of person he is. So, Brooklyn, have fun. Enjoy it.
They'll get to the final. They'll get to the
I want to
final.
go back to something you said. You thought Indiana improved. Are you that big on Karis LeVert that you thought flipping Oladipo for LeVert is that big of a deal?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I think for what he is, they can improve. They improve a little bit. Oladipo doesn't really stay on the court. Like, he showed up a little bit, but I think he gives LeVert gives him a little bit more scoring than Oladipo did. We got to see how it plays. Like, we got to remember, with all these big threes, all these big players getting together and bunching together, it doesn't always work, right? It typically doesn't work. Even when Bron and Wade got together in that first and Bosh, they made it to the finals, but it still takes a team to win. So just because these superstars get together doesn't make they're going to win. So I think that the Pacers came out a little bit better because Oladipo did get hurt a lot. He's a great player. He's a dynamic player. But if you look at the numbers, what is he, a top 45, top 50 player?
Yeah, and Oladipo's on the last year of his deal. LeVert's he's locked up for another 3 years.
Yeah, so I think it adds to their shooting there over in Indy. They got turnover there. I forget the one guy who's kind of he looks like a school teacher, but he bust your ass. I forget his name off the top of my head. They have an okay team over there. I'm not going to say they're great, they're good, but They have a good team over there. So. I mean, we'll see what they can do.
At this point, they have a better pure scorer, in my opinion, at this part of their career in LeVert than they do Oladipo. But I want to ask you guys another question. I want your percentage that Ben Simmons is on this team after the deadline.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to go 9. I'm going 95%. That I think.
Yeah, for sure.
After the deadline. 95. I still think.
I agree with that. Definitely 95%. If you were going to deal him, this was the deal to do it, right? Because you get it's hard to argue that James Harden is not the best pure scorer we've ever seen.
I'll just say hello to KD. I
don't know if KD could do it at 40 pounds heavier.
Ooh, he might need 40.
Harden's 40 pounds heavier.
I'm not sure. I've seen things in the comment. We called him Rick Ross Jr., all kinds of stuff, but he still gave you 40. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if KD can do that. But yeah, if you deal it, you deal it now. You would have got obviously one of the best offensive players in the league, if not the best offensive player in the league. So if you would have got the deal, you would have did it now. If not, Ben doesn't go anywhere.
But here's the other thing. Kyrie didn't get along with LeBron. He's not even showing up for work now. Now suddenly, I saw somebody tweeted something that was pretty funny. Actually, it was like Kendrick Lamar's burner account where he said, Kyrie couldn't be Robin to Batman, so now he gets to be Alfred to KD and to Harden. I mean, that's my other thing. It's team turmoil, and
I don't think now
is 2026.
I give you a question for you fellas now. What's the percentage that Kyrie is on that team?
That's that was where my mind was.
And I think it's a 50-50 shot. It's a 50-50 shot. They got Harden because he's got 2 more years on his deal. I think Kyrie's up in another year, if I'm not mistaken. And the way he's going, he didn't like the hire of Nash. He feels, however he feels. We understand that he's special. He's out on the Boston Garden smudging with sage throughout. Nobody's going to be in the goddamn stands, and he's smudging, right? we're wiping away bad energy, and nobody's going to be there. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's got 3 years after this year.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't think Kyrie's going to. It would be surprising me if Kyrie's still there after the trade deadline.
I agree. We saw all we needed to hear from all the reports. I know it was just reports, but it makes a lot of sense where it's coming out from Wojnarowski and Shams that the only person the Nets weren't willing to move was Durant, and Kyrie wasn't on that. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie was one of the people that they were willing to get rid of. And I know a big part we read that it's all about the Harden move was also to try and get not only those two ready to win now, but also Durant here for his next contract. So it was like a win now move, also insurance plan. And it was like, Kyrie, you don't want to show up for work? Okay, cool. Stay home. Because now we have that second scorer or maybe that first scorer in Harden. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, it's really tough to say whether they got fleeced or whether they won the deal because it's all about the freaking combination of all the personalities dealing with. I mean, it's funny because some people were saying we don't know whether to feel really bad for Steve Nash because they have to deal with those three up there, or be really happy with him because he doesn't really have to coach that much. It's just like, here, one of you three score the ball and then just watch.
He doesn't have to coach if he just has Durant. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's what. Look at what Steve Kerr did all those years. He was letting freaking Draymond Green coach on the sidelines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's really, really tough. But to me, Nate, to your question, I wouldn't be surprised by anything. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a thing tomorrow saying Kyrie wants to go play friggin' tennis in friggin' China. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's going on.
He's special.
He can walk there because the earth is flat, you know.
Oh, yeah.
There's 75% chance that he's not with the Nets.
Yeah.
He can't be. They gave away too many draft picks. They got to recoup some of those draft picks.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys got to understand those draft picks are going to be low, man. They're going to be like second rounds.
Well, what it does is, I mean, you know the NBA, right? Now Houston's sitting with 2. Now they can get to wherever they want. You know what I mean? And then plus, you know, it's all trade assets anyway. They're all unprotected.
Yeah, Houston wanted that Cavs pick, that 2022 pick is the big pick for Houston.
Exactly.
And then the right to swap. I mean, that's almost 7 first-round picks they got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the 2 questions, 100% Ben's here, 80% Kyrie's not.
All right, you're pretty close. You're pretty close around with me there
Yeah.
on both of them. Frank, Ralph?
I'm going to go 100% for Ben staying on the Sixers. Give me Kyrie's a very odd character. Give me 20% for Kyrie staying on the Nets.
Give me 100% for Ben, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 20% too, Frank.
Oh, Ralph.
I'm gonna go 20% too with Frank.
Go back with Daddy. Back out in LA. Back with Daddy.
Yeah. Hey, there you go, buddy.
Uh-oh. You want him, Ralph?
I did see something on Twitter earlier when everything was going down. How crazy would it be if the Nets call up Washington and, hey, Kyrie for Russ? What are you thinking? Kyrie for Russ.
Reunite
the big 3 in Brooklyn.
Can I ask you a question, Ralph?
That'd be cool, though.
I mean, that would be cool.
But Washington says no.
Yeah, it would be cool, but like, why would that entice Beal to stay in Washington when he's getting another guy who doesn't show up? Like, they just got rid of that in John Wall. Like, hey, we haven't seen John Wall in 2 years. Kyrie's healthy and he doesn't show up for work. So what is that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is that going to do for that situation?
Brian, I don't know about that, though, man, because John Wall seems to be a different cat this year. Like, all of a sudden, it seems like, and I don't know, maybe it's because they just gave him the keys to the castle and he's going to start the whole thing again, but he just seemed to be different, man. Like,
So he wants to prove that he can still play.
Yeah.
He's playing with a chip on his shoulder that I'm still one of the best point guards in this league, and I want to go out there and prove it. Now, we all talk about Kyrie, but let's not get it twisted. Kyrie is a killer on the court.
Yeah.
He is an absolute killer on the court. I want that guy on my team. I'll take the sponging. We'll take it back to like Major League and get him the whole ordeal in his thing, man.
The bucket
Whatever he needs, as long as he's giving me 30 every night, I could care less. Do what you got to do, bro. The world is flat. I agree.
Doug, you're right though, Doug. In this year, John Wall's a different animal. I just meant by the dynamic of you had Bradley Beal he was just standing there like, okay, well, my other teammate, we don't see him. Then you get Kyrie, and it's like, well, damn, I might not see him either. But you're right, John Wall, I commend him because he's on a friggin' mission. He looks like the voice of reason right now for the Rockets, which we never would have thought a couple years ago.
I think it's funny that people think that the Washington would trade Beal for Simmons. Like, I think that's comical. Like,
that would be terrible for them.
2 players that are similar in Westbrook and Simmons. Like, that's not realistic.
It would be.
I don't think there's any chance we're getting Bradley Beal because what do they want? You'd have to give him Tobias, which I don't know why they would want. You'd have to give him Maxey. You'd have to go that way with it and hope that they would want that over than going Ben wise because Ben doesn't fit if they're stuck with Russ. I mean, if they traded Russ, then it's a different story. But we'll see how all that plays out. But Doc Rivers today, it's been speculated that he was the one against the trade and a big advocate against the trade. And
I think Marquise nails it right here. I think as soon as they brought in Tyrese Maxey's name, dude, conversation's done.
Yep.
I think that's where Doc came into play.
Well, I think that they probably were trying to get it done for Tobias. Honestly, I just get a feel about this organization and about Doc that he's not ready to trade Ben. Because I said it when he came here. I said it when Daryl Morey came here. I stand by it. They left organizations to come to Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Like they specifically left where they were at, where they didn't have to. Daryl Morey didn't have to leave Houston. Everybody, he was going to take some time off. Remember? That's funny because that time off lasted 2 months, and next thing you know, he's in Philly. Doc Rivers fired, or was a parting. I forget exactly how that worked. Fired, whatever. He wasn't fired though. He left, right? Didn't he?
Yeah.
He stepped down.
I think it was kind of similar to the
Doc
thing, right?
Doc was
He
fired.
resigned.
Doc was fired. Yeah.
I thought he resigned.
Yeah.
No,
he was going to take the year off, though, Tommy. Both of them were.
Yeah.
We're going to sit a year and look at the landscape and then come back, after this year.
Regardless, I just feel like both came here for these two talents. And Doc continues to say that he believes he can get more out of Ben Simmons. So, let's give it more than 12 games of Doc trying to get more out of him where, he's had daddy here for how many years babying him. I mean, that adjustment needs to come. And I think part of what Doug said about Scotty and different things. It's like, where do I fit? Like, I got a lot of scorers around me, and then when the scorers go out, like they were last night, it's like a dog on a hardwood floor, right? Like he doesn't know what to do because everybody he's dishing to, and he still had 12 assists, but you can take 12 assists and shove them up your ass. Because if you watch the game, all right, okay, great, yeah, 12 assists. But he's like a dog on a hardwood floor scoring wise. He doesn't know what to do because the last X amount of games, he could just dish to Steph, dish to Danny, right? This is the bias, and that's what I take out of it. So it's like when these guys come back, he's going to be more comfortable, and then the aggression shows a little bit more. But when he's asked to, when you're asking him to be the second fiddle, to score, just talking about scoring, it's not who he is. And I don't know if he's ever going to be that guy. Can he be a guy who averages 20 a night because he's so big and talented? Maybe. Probably. He should get there, but I don't think he's ever going to be a guy where you're talking about averaging 26 to 30 a night. I think we can all agree there.
Yeah, I agree with that. The most frustrating thing, Tom, is that, and we talked about it this past Friday, you guys obviously recall, it's that, we don't ask him to go out and score 25, 30, 20. We were saying, hey, if he can average around 18, 19, 20 this year, and that for a career, also, providing what he does on defense, assists, rebounds, etc., that's fine. The most frustrating with him is that in games like last night, in games against the Nets and the Cavs, to when Embiid's either A, not playing, or B, not playing to his full potential. Obviously, Embiid was playing really well last night, but not obviously in the other two games that I brought up. It's that, can he pick up the slack when Embiid has those off nights? That's all we ask of him. We don't ask him to have 25 points every night, but just have a few games where it's like, okay, Embiid doesn't have it, or Embiid's not playing, or maybe Danny Green's off, or Tobias. We just need you to have that ability to step up. And that's the most frustrating thing. And you and I talked about it, when we were watching the game. It's that, you look at Tyrese Maxey. Sometimes he's the smallest guy on the freaking court, and he can get to the rim whenever he wants because he has that mentality. You look at Isaiah Joe, he shouldn't even be on the court right now, but he can score whenever he wants because he has that mentality.
This is the benefit, though, of all this, of the COVID, sting that's taking place here, is you've seen Isaiah Joe can hit open threes. Right?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like him.
Isaiah Joe doesn't mind pulling the trigger, right? We didn't have them young guys off the bench last year. You see that Tyrese Maxey is not scared to score, and that's why he was the most talented offensive. Sorry, got a little something's caught in the throat. The most talented offensive player. Most died right on air. The most talented offensive player in this draft right now. It doesn't mean guys can't be better than him, but right now I felt like he was the most talented offensive player in this draft, and the fact that he fell to 21 is amazing to me because that dude's a lottery pick, and teams reached in the lottery this whole year. When we watched the draft, we did a show on it, and it was brutal.
And this is why you make the trade. This is you all just made great points about where we're missing from Ben in offense, and this is why you made the trade. If it was Maxey and Ben, I'm pulling the trigger for Harden. There's no doubt in my mind. If they said Ben and Maxey for Harden, you pull the fucking trigger.
Yeah. Ben's not Cobra Kai, man. He's not going to strike first, show no mercy. It's not his style.
Yeah, you got to pull the trigger.
And then come back in 20 years and we'll look back and be like, man, that guy actually knew what the hell he was doing. Look at him.
Ben is what we think he is. I think who is it? Dennis Green said this from the Arizona coach. They are who they thought we are. Ben is exactly what that is. He is what we think you are. We can wish upon a goddamn star that he shoots the goddamn ball. He's not going to do it. That is not him. He is not a killer on the court. It's not. It's just not. He's not in his makeup. You can't make somebody a killer. You either got it or you don't. He just don't got it. If you would put Ben and Maxey in the first round pick, I'm pulling the goddamn trigger.
But he's a killer defensively, though.
When he wants to be, absolutely. He could be a defensive player of the year. Yeah. I mean, he's a defensive player of the candidate, every year. He can guard anybody on the court.
We win a championship with him.
No.
You don't think so?
No. No, you can't.
How did we watched it in the 80s? I mean, we were a little young in that moment, but we remember it. And how the hell did Magic win so many? I mean, they're so similar. Like, Magic didn't shoot the ball right away well at all, if at all. I mean, he took a lot.
He's more like Rondo than Magic, though. He's just got Magic size.
Okay, Rondo can win too. Rondo won too, but Rondo was a killer. He's a dog.
He had that mentality.
Ben ain't. You know what I mean? Let's get it. You know what I mean? Rondo don't back down from nobody. It don't matter who. As long as you're wearing the opposite color that he's wearing, he is a dog. Let's not get it twisted. And Rondo is a beast, and not even that. His IQ is probably as good as anybody on the court, outside of LeBron.
And at the end of the day, with all that size and speed and talent that Simmons has, what good is it if he doesn't use it? There's times where it's like, well, damn, dude, do it. Like you always talk about, Tom, control what you can control. Well, he can control not being able to score. At worst, he's going to go to the line. He's either gonna make it or he's going to the line every time.
And what is he, 60% from the line?
If that.
Pull the trigger, man. I would if it was Maxey, Martise, what's his name?
Thibault,
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Maxey, Thibault, Simmons, and a first round pick. I agree with it, man. I would have pulled the trigger. When's the next time you're going to see a score like Harden? You're not. Just not going to see that.
And I'll tell you what, Ben Simmons right now has the biggest spotlight on him in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Every time he steps to court now. Now you got to show us why we didn't pull the trigger for Harden. So it's either make it or break it right now for Ben Simmons.
You know what's funny about this, though, is I'm the one who's called the Simmons hater. When I do.
Oh, no, you just haven't had me online yet, bro. I hate Simmons, dog. They kill me on my show, man. Oh, man, I go in on Ben. You know what I mean? And my crowd's a little bit more urban, so maybe it's because I'm dark skinned and he's light skinned. I don't know, but me and Ben, I'm not a big fan of Ben. I've come around this year because I like how Doc's using him. I like how they take him to the side with Sam Cassell, work on his offensive game. You've seen that. I think he can let the game come to him. But to answer your question, at the end of the day, can you win a championship with him? I don't think he can. You need somebody else, and we saw that when we had Jimmy Buckets. I was a big fan of Jimmy Buckets being here and him staying here, and you saw it. Where was Ben Simmons? On a goddamn bench.
Yeah, but we're forgetting. We do all this. We talk all this Ben stuff, which is rightfully so, right? Rightfully so. But we forget this whole process was not losing for Ben Simmons. It was losing for the big dog that eats every time he's on the court and he's engaged. Every time they feed him, he eats. We lost for him. Anybody that goes back with basketball like a lot of us do, man, you went inside out in this league and you still do. I don't care what anybody says. And we get so many open looks from three because of Joel Embiid that other teams don't get. And that's why Seth Curry can't miss. That's why Tobias looks better from three. So all these guys look better from three because of Joel Embiid. That's what we lost for. The rest of these guys have to just play sidekick to him. Make sense? Like, we don't need 100 stars around him. Like, I think he's that much of a dog, and the losing in the playoffs has eaten him alive. That this year I seen more of a grown-up. I seen a grown-up this year. I haven't seen a grown-up in years past. And he's one of my favorite players. I love the guy. But the organization sort of muted him last year. We see a lot of muting going on all around. But the organization pulled a little Twitter and Facebook on him and said, hey, no more posting, because they didn't like it. But when he was posting all last year before that, he was rocking and rolling. Last year he got in his feelings a little bit. Rightfully so. All his guys were gone. right? And it happens. He's a younger guy. He gets up in his feelings, and he didn't play his best basketball last year. But this year he showed maturity. He showed a lot of maturity this year, just in a small sample size. I already see it. Last night he could have quit. He could have quit last night. And the old Joel Embiid maybe quits last night. And that's why last night's performance was such a big one, because he needed that one. Because you can't let COVID spiral you out of control. Especially,
and he looked like he quit early on. I turned the game off because I'm streaming it. I turned it off at halftime, and I'm like, what did Joe even shoot up for? And then the second half, obviously, he did what he did and did what he's able to do.
Yeah, you only had 10 points at half, to your point.
And he looked lethargic.
Mm-hmm. Perfect roster to build around Joel Embiid. It's the perfect starting five to put around Joel Embiid. I can hand pick some up better ones, obviously, but in reality and a cap and and everything you can spend, it's the best one I think you can put around Joel Embiid. Now let's get a little bit and have fun with some of these agree to disagrees. All right, and the one stays right in the ballpark. I'll try to keep the Sixers ones first here, and then we'll go through some of the other ones. So the first one, the Sixers' number one trade target should be Bradley Beal. Agree or disagree? I disagree. People aren't going to like me for it. I don't really care. I disagree because I'm not making moves this year. I'll make moves next year. Let me give a year. Let me give a year with these guys, with Doc. What's what we waited for? Accountability, right? We also accountability, right? And then 14 games in, screw the accountability. We're done. Like, come on. We have no patience. We can let it sit for a minute. We're not in like doom and gloom where you have to win this year. You don't have to cut the Nets down this year. Newsflash, LeBron's still over in the West. And as long as he's suiting up, himself and the NBA are going to do everything they can to get his ass into the finals. All right? Because LeBron sells. That's simple. And this sells. So if we think that he's not going to win another one, we're nuts. So, and I hate to say it because Ralphie's over there. We're nuts. I'm not trading for anybody. The only way I'm trading for Bradley Beal is if you'll take the bias and somebody else off my hands. But I'm not. I'm just not. So that's my thought. What do you guys say? The Sixers' number one trade target should be Bradley Beal.
It's tough to say. Bill, you want somebody like Bradley Beal on your team, but what do you got to give up for him? Because you're going to have to give up more of what was on the table for Harden. Bill's in his prime. So I think you get something like a little bit better, like Zach, not better, but like somebody like a scorer like Zach LaVine. All these people that they're looking at as trading are scorers. They're all pure scorers. So possibly, you might be able to do something with Zach LaVine. But I kind of agree with you here, Tommy, which is painful to even say. I think you got to see what you got. It's still early. We're 10 games, 11 games in. Let Doc run with this team. Let them mesh. Let them get on a run, and let's see what this team has. But at the end of the day, I think we all see the writing on the wall is that we need somebody who can go get a bucket outside of Embiid. And we don't know who that is yet on this team.
Fair. Whoever wants to go next, the Sixers' number one trade target should be Bradley Beal.
I'll agree. I mean, if you're going to make a trade, I don't disagree with you at all in saying, hey, let it play out and let it sit. But if you're gonna put a target on the wall and see what you got to do to go get it, absolutely agree. I'm not giving up Ben Simmons for him. But I definitely, if he would be my top target, there's no doubt about it.
I'll tell you guys this. Any trade that you guys can think of is going to have Ben Simmons in it. There's no way you do any trade without Ben.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I'm the Sixers, I'm like, no thanks.
That's why I turned the phone off. I turned the phone off for a year. I made these moves this all season. I put a roster together. I got Youngtown on my bench. My phone, my pager, going old school, is off. The Sixers' number one trade target should be Bradley Beal. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I agree. I agree. Two agrees.
I disagree. I don't see us making a move for Bradley Beal at any moment. If we do make a trade, I see us try to focus more on the bench in the case if we need to make a heavier playoff push.
Oh yeah, the trade's not happening. Like the only way we're getting or anybody else is getting Bradley Beal is if he pulls a James Harden and he goes to the podium tomorrow and he says, "Hey, I'm done. Like I can't stand Westbrook. I'm done." But that's not happening. To your point, Nate, the Zach LaVine thing, I think, is the most intriguing, the most realistic. But Bradley Beal, I think, is the best possibility right now as far as
for sure.
Eventually, but it's not happening. Zach LaVine's probably going to happen, but the Beal thing's not happening.
You see this, Tommy? People are starting to agree with me. Taking over, bro. It's coming. It's fucking coming. It's going to be Money Pop Podcast presents A2D Radio at the end of this shit.
Next one. Everybody go on that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Next one. The Sixers. Why did that not edit in right? That's weird.
That's all right.
If you see it, it's actually back here, but it's not coming out. That's so strange. Watch this. Let's see if that works.
There you go. You had it.
You had it. It was something about Maxey.
He keeps touching it on me. So put your hands up. Tyrese Maxey should be a full-time starter for the Sixers. Agree or disagree? I'll let other guys, whoever wants to start this one, somebody else can start this one.
I'll disagree. I like him coming off the bench. I think he can turn into, obviously, your first round pick, your potential should have been a lottery pick, right? But when he comes off the bench, he gives a spurt, he gives scoring, he gives a burst of energy. I like him coming off the bench, especially this year.
I'm going to go disagree as well, because what are you going to move Danny Green to the bench, and then you go from, 12 points off the bench to 0? So right now I'm going to go disagree.
Biggest shot in your little Laker run. So have a little respect.
I know. I'm sorry, Danny.
No loyalty, huh? No loyalty. See how Lakers fans kick their guys to the curb? See that? No friggin' loyalty from the purple and yellow. I completely disagree. I love what I've seen from Maxey, but I love the second team unit of Dwight, Shake, and Maxey, and the 2-man game offense when you look at Shake and Maxey. And like we talked about before the COVID thing, it was working with Seth Curry and Danny Green in the starting 5. You know what I'm saying? And if people keep getting lost with this, just because they're not starting doesn't mean they're not going to play for more than 5 minutes. So, you can have, if Tyrese Maxey is hot, you can have him in the starting or in the 5, on the court at the end of the games. Like, just because he doesn't start doesn't mean he's not going to finish some games. So the way they had it at the beginning of the season, I'm fine with.
I'm going to agree. He earned it, man. I think there's nothing wrong with a competitive environment. He elevates the game. And if the kid's got the rock, you ride the hot hand. And that's just what the NBA is. And I think that kind of sends a message to a guy like Ben that, hey, you don't have an automatic role. You're going to have to come out here. You're going to have to earn it. We got a young team. We don't have old vets. So, other than Dr. Dwight, that's it, man.
Yeah, the only reason I disagree is because I want that instant offense off my bench. I know I have enough scoring in my starting 5, so I need my second unit to be able to deliver. That'd be the only reason I disagree. But has he earned it? Yeah, he absolutely has in a little 2-game run as a starter. He's definitely earned it. Aggressive all the time, but I like that energy off my bench. It's almost like getting a little bit like a Lou Williams off your pine that just comes in and is aggressive, and it just attacks. And I sort of like that with my second unit, but we'll see how the year plays out, because I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't some changes. Especially if the starting 5 struggle at times. I could definitely see them mixing it up for sure, though. Did everybody go on that one?
I disagree. I love the offense off the bench as well. Will he be a full-time starter for the Sixers? It's going to happen eventually.
Not this year, though.
Nope.
No. I want to be a crumb and say agree, but the obvious choice is disagree. All right, but I want a Tommy rant, later in the week about being crumb of the week or some shit. You know what I mean? I want to agree.
You're not alone.
Yeah, Doug. I kind of want to agree with you. Ride the hot hands. See what him and Embiid look like on the court. They'd just be small. That's the problem. With him,
so who you sitting? Who you sitting? For the 2 agrees,
man, because what you got, Ben at the 1. Well, Ben could play the 3, I guess. He doesn't have to play the 1, and then we'll put Harris at the 4, Embiid at the 2. But then your backcourt is Seth and Maxey. That's a small backcourt,
right?
So that's not. I don't know if you do that or not, because you're gonna have somebody small. He's just small, and what is he playing the 1 right now, right?
Yeah, he's running a lot of points.
Yeah, he's playing the 1. So. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
This liquor is catching up with me. So
I don't know.
we gotta hurry up.
The next
I'm
one,
filling up.
Nets.
Hey, Doug, man, I need you to fill up that Guinness, man. You got to be my drinking buddy.
All right, man, you got it.
There you go. There you go.
The Brooklyn Nets are the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Disagree. Bring them on. I want them.
Disagree?
I want them.
Yeah, Ralphie's agreeing, bro. Ralphie definitely agrees with this. I can see it in his eyes.
Disagree, Tommy?
I'm with Ralphie. Tell him, Ralphie.
How can you disagree to that?
Exactly. I don't know how I disagree on that one.
KD, Kyrie, if Kyrie comes back, and James Harden.
Crown
on
them.
the court at the same time.
They need to play a game together. If you want to crown them, crown them. It's one of my favorite ones ever. I love it.
I love it. Too. I love it.
Crown them.
Buy the T-shirt. Buy the T-shirt.
I'm going to agree. They are the team to beat in the Eastern Conference right now. With those
Absolutely,
three,
the team to beat.
even if Kyrie doesn't come back, I still think they're the team to beat.
He doesn't need to play ever again,
with
Ralphie.
James and KD.
Ralphie, he doesn't
I
ever
still
need to
think
play
they
again.
are.
Steve
We have the two best scorers in the NBA on the same team.
Pure scores, Nate.
Who's stopping my big man?
Who's that?
DeAndre Jordan?
Who?
DeAndre
Embiid?
Jordan. DeAndre Jordan? That's who's slowing down Embiid? The only one to slow him down was Jared Allen. Played him tough. DeAndre Jordan never has played him tough.
You're going to need more than Embiid to beat.
Is Embiid
Brooklyn.
putting up 120 on his own?
Is the team by themselves, right? Did I miss something from a 7-1 start?
Well, you were talking about Embiid.
Hold on.
Everybody
He
else.
can do the basketball better than anybody in the league, and that's factual numbers. All right. All of a sudden, can't play. The Nets are the greatest team ever. You know what? Just stop the league. Stop the league. Give them the trophy because that's why you play the damn game. Y'all can crown cute stuff on NBA 2K. This ain't 2K, baby. You got to get in the meetings. You got to feel each other out. And
Have you seen the league, Tom? This is fucking 2K. You see the Lakers right now? Jesus Christ.
Who are the
They're
best?
talking about getting Bradley Beal.
Nate, who are the
They
best?
reject that trade on 2K. Jesus. The fuck?
Who are the best teams in the league, Nate? The ones that move the basketball. We think the Nets are moving the basketball now.
They'll learn how to play.
The Warriors work because they were unselfish. That's why the Warriors worked. The Warriors didn't work just because they were a dream team. It was a bunch of guys that were unselfish. They
were a dream team, though.
But they moved the basketball better than anybody in the league. That's why they won. That's why the Sixers were 7-1 because they were unselfish, right?
Yeah, he brought in KD brought into the team into that team. But let's not get it twisted. You had Draymond, you had Curry, you had Clay, and you had goddamn KD. Like that's a fucking dream team. I don't care what anybody says. That's amazing. That's tough to beat. Right. So when you look at the Nets right now, all you need is that three, and they're in the East. This is not the West. They're in the East. What is Harden going to do in the East? Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Who's guarding him? Like they couldn't guard him in the West. You think they're going to be able to guard him in the East?
Won't be able to put up 30.
Jesus Christ.
Won't be able to jack up 40 a night in there with that team. So he ain't jacking up 40 a night. So I'll book it. I'm going to book it for everybody. They ain't sniffing the finals. You heard it here. Clip it. Because when it happens, I'm going to want it rolled. I'm going to be all over wanting this piece rolled. I think it's Crumb and NBA history, and they got his buddy right next to him who thinks the world's flat.
Yeah. I need this recording because earlier in the show you said I was right. So I'm gonna have to replay that a couple times on my shit. Book that. I love it. Let's go.
I'm not sold on him. I'm just not. I wasn't sold on before it. The only person I'm sold on that basketball team is Kevin Durant because I've always been sold on him. You're
not sold on Kyrie? Are you kidding me?
How can I be sold on the antics, Nate? The antics matter. Like that's why. Look at that Boston team. They were loaded because he's such a loser. They can't get there. That's why. If he's so great, he's been great number-wise, and he's electric. But he hasn't been a winner since he left Daddy. Let's be real.
Shout out to Marquise, man. Shout out to Marquise. Harden gave Ben 44, 11, and 11. What are we talking about? Are you serious?
In every buffet in freaking Houston.
And he still gave him 40, 15, and 7. He did all you can eat. Are you kidding me?
When he put up 40 this year?
His first game, when we first saw him, when it was like, Jesus Christ. Is that Jason Peters out there? Yeah. And then what did he do? He gave him 44, 8, and 12. Looking like Jason Peters. Jesus Christ.
The only
this
people
man is a monster. I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, I love KD. I think KD is one of the best players, if not the best. I can't say that because Bron is the best player of our generation.
Absolutely.
But
shut up, Ralph.
Sorry.
when you look at Harden, he has perfected that step back. He has perfected what he does. Whatever he does, I don't care if you call it a walk, travel, a moonwalk, whatever you want to call it, he's perfected it. It cannot be stopped. And that was in the West.
21 shots, by the way. 44, 12 of 21, 17 assists.
Jesus Christ.
The one game.
Looking like Jason Peters doing that?
That's it. One game. He scored 44. Okay, and he's been a great scorer his whole career. What the freaking do? Look where he's going. Is everybody okay? He just disrespected 14 guys of NBA caliber players. He just spit in their face. Now he's going to go somewhere where our point guard's spitting in everybody's face, and then he's whatever the frick he's doing right here, freaking doing around the arena. I'm telling you, it's an implosion about to happen here. It's going to be a disgrace. You think he's going to be able to jack 30 shots when Kyrie wants to shoot 40 times too? I mean, come on.
KD's been around that where people need to get shots. They'll make it work.
And he hasn't shot. He hasn't had 30 shots once this season. The most he's had was 24.
They'll make it work. I'll be cheering Brooklyn, and I'll be watching for the tabloids when they're all at the strip club at the all-you-can-eat buffet, man.
Who has that?
I can't wait because the New York girls look a little bit different than the Houston girls.
I love you guys, but you don't watch enough Houston basketball. The dude is a one-on-one guy and is a volume guy.
The most he shot was 24 shots. That was
good,
the most
right?
shots
Over how many freaking games he's been missing? What are you talking about? Go over.
Would you say that he shoots 30? He hasn't touched 30.
That's right. Get right back with him. Don't let him yell at you.
He hasn't touched 30. He has never.
Oh, there you go, buddy. I see you, Dennis.
He's been in
a make sure you pour that slow.
Club the whole season. He's been away from his team. He's playing like 5 games.
The 30 shots doesn't exist.
All that shit existed. His whole career existed. Lock in. It's what I'm talking about. His career, he's a volume shooter. Greg, can you help me, Greg? Please. The guy's a volume shooter.
Go to him. Yeah, go to him. Yeah, go to the guys.
I'm gonna go, guys.
I haven't watched him.
He shoots a lot because he didn't have anybody like KD or Kyrie on his team. Are you kidding me?
He didn't have anybody. He had freaking Chris Paul. What are we talking about?
Is Chris Paul shooting like Kyrie Irving? Hell no.
So many excuses for guys that don't succeed. It's a joke. I can't believe it. Because the guy scores a lot. We're like, that's the greatest player of all time. Great. He's 31, hasn't won shit. He stinks. He's the most overrated player I've watched in NBA history.
He's not overrated. He's definitely not overrated.
How's he not overrated? Nate, you ain't a first ballot Hall of Famer, baby, if you don't get the one final. Come on.
He is a pure, absolute scorer. That's what he is. He don't play no defense.
30 on his ass. What does plus minuses look like?
I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Just say.
He'll give you 30. He give you 30 every night. That's all I know. I can guarantee he'll give you 30. Whether he looks like James Harden or whether he looks like Rick Ross, he'll give you 30. That's all I know. You can't doubt that. You can't question that. When the lights come on, he'll give you 30. Period.
Good. And he'll give up 25 on the other end. So whoop-de-do. +5. Thanks, James. So electric. I can't wait for this to fail. I'm so excited for this. I've never been so excited in my life. It's like Christmas. I cannot wait. Everybody get together quicker. Can we just get them all together as fast as we can? Because I can't wait for you to nationally televise one-on-one basketball. Enjoy it, because one-on-one basketball has never won. Never won. You got to be unselfish to win in this league. And nobody won. I guess everybody forgot the Jordan doc. That ended quickly when we watched that this summer. And he talked about what took him to the other level was being an unselfish teammate and trusting guys around him. When is James Harden even trusted Eric Gordon around him or Chris Paul around him? When's Kyrie trusted anybody but Daddy? This is a mess. I can't wait. Everybody falls in love. Guy's a scorer. Guy scores. The whole league freaking scores. Whole league. Nobody plays defense. Whole league scores. Whoop-de-do.
Hey, JP, my name is Moss Money, by the way. He just said I agree with the dude on the bottom left. Read the comment. It's Moss Money. Don't get it twisted.
Listen to JP Talk Sports Live. You wouldn't want that.
Okay. All right. Sorry, JP. I'll go with my guy, Tom. I don't know you no more.
Harden, a couple names. They bother me. It's just because I don't know. There's more to basketball than just scoring. There's so much more than just being.
No, there's not, Tom. It's not. It's not. That's where we are in this league.
Why didn't they get
the next subject? Let's go.
You guys, all right. Everybody go on that one.
Yeah, I think everybody went.
I don't know because we got into it, so I don't know.
I know. I see.
I disagree. As
I'm
well.
almost done my cup again. That's why I said we gotta go.
I disagree as well. I didn't go. I disagree. I actually had the Nets rated as a third team in the East getting into the year. I actually downgrade them after this deal because I just don't know how it's going to fit.
And I disagree as well. As I said before the season started, 4th in the East, and they will get upset in the first round in the playoffs, and it's going to implode.
I know Rye agreed, right, Rye? Since we just
You guys are crazy.
Absolutely.
There's no way. They're going to the finals.
How much you want to put on it?
I love KD too. I take KD over Bron all day, every day.
Oh, what do you want to put on it? You know I'm a gambler. That's what I do. What do you want to put on it?
I'm willing to put this whole company on it that they don't go to the finals. The whole
Company versus company?
company versus company. That's how guarantee-ish I am of this.
All right, let me think about it. All right, book it.
Who they gotta beat, guys? Not just the Sixers. We're acting like they just gotta go to
Tom, what
They're
do you
going
get?
to the finals.
Tom, what do you get? What do you
I
get?
don't know. I get Nate. You know what I mean? I get Nate out of the deal.
Tom, that's the other thing, right? It's not just the Sixers, right? You're going to have Milwaukee, you have the Celtics,
Pretty good.
and you have the Heat. They're struggling now, but they were just really good.
They'll be fine when Jimmy comes back, and they're almost like resting the legs right now with him.
That's exactly it.
Knew that was going to happen.
What's the chances that Harden brings back COVID from one of those adult entertainment places?
Oh, God.
Would hate to see it.
Just don't do it in the playoffs. I got a lot riding on this.
That's what I'm saying. I might pay a guy. I'm going to have to pay off somebody.
Yeah, just don't do it at the end.
I'm about to pay off a stripper. Go lick his
Come home.
Go lick his face for me.
I'll come home and go golf on them.
Oh God!
We're gonna switch the Eagles a little bit here.
Yeah.
Switch again. I don't know why this continues to do this to me. Try it again. There we go. How are you? All right. Next one. Robert Saleh. That's how you say his last name, right?
Yeah.
Solid, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is the best real the weird one. Is the best how about we just take the best out? Robert Saleh is the best realistic option for the Eagles head coaching job. Agree or disagree?
I'm going to go disagree.
I'll agree.
Disagree on this one.
I'll agree. I like Robert Saleh. He brings a lot of energy. I kind of posed it the last couple of weeks of thinking about going on the defensive side since you needed that coordinator anyway, and you're going to need a coordinator for offense. So I'm going to agree. I'll agree.
Disagree. He can't fix Carson, and that's the priority right now.
Yeah, since we're going about, I actually agree. I actually like this guy. I think when you look at this team and you look how it's constructed, and I'm hoping they bring back Ertz. I'm not sure if they do, but I think they need to bring back Ertz, in my opinion, to make this offense kind of go. And what I think it envisions, or how I envision it as, but the defense is the real ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you think you got a career year at 35 from Graham, right? But behind him, we really don't have a pass rusher because Cox isn't a pass rusher. He's a disruptor, you know what I mean? But he's really not a pass rusher. But he disrupts you up the middle, and he's probably at least a top 5 best defensive tackle. I hate when people put him in the same conversation Aaron Donald because he's not Aaron Donald. He's not even close. And then you have Slay, who's your only really kind of star on this whole team, in my opinion. He played like one last year, but then, Singletary had a good year, which was good from the Canadian League. I think he was a pleasant surprise. TJ came on late, kind of strong. But outside of that, your defense is got a lot of holes. And a lot of people say there's a lot of holes on the offensive side. I personally don't think there is. I think that when you look at Wentz, it's not like the kid forgot how to play football, right? Mm-hmm. He lost confidence from him in himself. He lost confidence with his coach. The city turned on him, as we typically do when you shit up the bed. So that was granted, and we broke him. I think Tommy, we talk about this all the time, that we broke our franchise quarterback, and I think you've said it multiple times, and you guys have talked about it well. We broke our franchise quarterback, and with Doug gone, and kind of giving him a fresh start, I think with Doug gone, he does come back. But when you look at this offense, I look at this offense similar and be candid, what I said is similar to what KC has, right? Mahomes is special. He's a special arm talent. He's in a league of his own. There's only a couple people that I would even mention in the same conversation as Mahomes. But then you have, your running back. You have special speed in Hill. I wouldn't say Hill is in the top tier because you got a lot of receivers in here who are doing a lot of good things and making breaking a lot of numbers. But when you look at this offense, it's all speed. And then you got that one good elite tight end in the middle with Kelsey. Because to me, Kelsey's the number one option. It's not Hill, right? So when you put that on paper and you compare it to the Eagles have a lot of speed. I know a lot of people didn't like that Jalen Reagor move, but I think the kid is going to be okay. Is he going to be like Jefferson? No. Okay, Jefferson just broke all kinds of records this year and might win Rookie of the Year. He's not going to be Jefferson. But at the same time, we've seen him in position. We've seen him be able to pull away from people. He has speed, right? He has some jets. So behind him, I think they bring back Jackson, right? I think you need a vet. And then you look behind him, you got Watkins. They got Goodwin that's going to come back from off his vacation from COVID. They have, I think it's Hightower. So they have a lot of speed on that receiving core. And then you got Sanders in the backfield. So when you look at those those offenses, they're somewhat similar. Are they KC? Hell no. But are they similar with the skill set players and the speed they have? Yes. So I don't think the offense needs that much, in my opinion. They need a quarterback who can play well and wants to come back to MVP. But when you look at it, I think this team really needs help on the defense, man. So I actually like the move to go into more of a defensive sided coach.
Right?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's realistic. The only reason why I put Salah above Lincoln Riley or Bieniemy,
you two should get a room, you and Nate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's get out of control with you two. I mean, it's a great thing.
Oh, man.
I should do this. Like, I don't even like this.
See what they're doing to us, Nate? See what they're doing to us?
You know what I mean? I might make a move. You know?
I'm just waiting for Tommy to let Tommy talk, and I'll get him. Don't worry. I'll get him.
But no, I mean, the only reason why I put Salah above, Bieniemy and Lincoln Riley, it's because you hear today, the only way Lincoln's leaving the job he's currently at is for the Cowboys. And I just don't picture a world where Bieniemy would want to come here.
Yeah, I just disagree because of what the owner said. I mean, I just don't think it's happening. I don't think they're going defensive side of the football. I mean, he sort of made that pretty clear. He almost told us in this presser he doesn't care about defense. So many words. He wants an elite offense. Well, the only way you're going to fix your quarterback is by getting an elite offensive mind in here as your head coach. That's just
who is that?
That's just my opinion. So
who is that? Like who's an elite offensive coach out there?
Well, I think there's a lot of smart ones. I mean, the one that looks like he may have turned it down. Everybody says this at first, like, I like where I'm at, right? We always hear that. It's always the first thing until the brink truck pulls up to your house. That I like where I'm at. Great. Harden said he liked where he was at. He was never leaving. I think he said to Weezy, he was never leaving. Said to somebody in Houston, I'm never leaving, I promise. Said it. Everybody leaves. Everybody leaves to go to something different. It's just the way the world works, right? So Lincoln Riley can tell me he's staying in Oklahoma all he wants until the brink truck pulls up to the house. But what I will say is that's a guy who can fix them. That's a guy who's had success with guys who maybe weren't the best pocket passers, but you got the most out of them. I need innovation. I need something different. I got two quarterbacks here that my owner is trying to sell to coaches. Two quarterbacks with different skill sets. How can I bring them both together to be able to use them both in their roles? Carson has my number one starter, but having 10, 15 plays designed for Jalen Hurts a game. I drafted him for a reason. I got to get him on the field. I have to find a way to have some innovation inside this building. And right now, I don't have it. I don't have it. And
man, you're either dumb or stupid to say that. I'm just going to come out and say it right now. There's no way that you have Hurts and Wentz on this team next year. No way.
You can
there's no way.
Who's writing a $25 million check to get out of it? Carson? His wife signing off on that? Who's getting traded then? Who?
Hurts. I think you got to get rid of Hurts.
So you're just wasting a second round draft pick?
It was wasted when they took him. Are you serious? Who didn't jump off their seat and want to turn off the table or throw something at the TV when they drafted Jalen Hurts? You can't tell me anybody who liked that pick.
No, I'm saying it was a good pick, but you're not going to get rid of it right away.
You're going to throw the word stupid out and then throw that back out. A year later, they trade the pick. Come on.
Absolutely. You got to.
Stop it. This was
hell. You got to.
This was all Howie. And listen, all I'm saying is, because I don't want to go too long with it, you just got to find somebody in here, bring an offensive mind in here that can help your quarterback and be innovative, right? Like, it doesn't have to be missionary. It doesn't have to be, look what the Saints are doing, right? They're able to use both to their advantage. And
it doesn't win you championships, man. It doesn't win. That it just doesn't win. But when I look at football, and you have, it's a copycat league. That's what they always say about NFL, right?
You just told me it never won. When does it happen? Where are all the examples?
What, a two quarterback system is one?
You're saying two quarterback system. I'm not saying two quarterback system. I'm telling you, design plays for a playmaker. Completely different than a two quarterback system. There's no sample size.
I agree. I guess I agree, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. That whole gimmick with that second quarterback, it just doesn't work. Is it nice every once in a while? You bring out your nice car and everything and wash it up and nice and do a little couple things in it. Like, yeah, but it doesn't work. And if we go with the coach from Oklahoma, there's no way. How does he not go with Ertz? He knows what Ertz is. He knows he's going to go with his guy.
Come on, man. You're going to see guys in shorts and a T-shirt and throwing the football. And you're going to straight face tell me that like, I was going to be like, watch Carter throw the ball in camp and move around and all that. He's going to watch Jalen and say, I'm in love with him. Jalen. Like, then I should fire him on the spot.
Yeah, I don't think he's the right coach anywhere.
I'm not saying he is, but who is? Nobody knows who is.
Nobody knows. Yeah.
My point is, I just want an offensive-minded guy in here that's willing to adapt, that's willing to be creative, that's willing to think outside the box a little bit, because we don't have a lot of talent right now. As it looks moving forward, that we're going to have to be creative if we want to win games.
I think the guy's Josh McDaniels, man. I think he's exactly what we have. You look at it, Lurie's obsessed with the Patriots. He's shown that he can build a system around a guy like Brady. He can make do with Cam Newton, even though Cam Newton's on his last leg. They got a group of no-name receivers year after year, and he's got a relationship. So you can bring a guy like they're high on Mayo. I don't know that Mayo's ready to be a head coach per se. He could easily run the defense, or even on the flip side. Does Patricia come? Probably not, because the amount of money that he's still owed from his contract in Detroit. But I think if we could bring McDaniels and we could bring Mayo and bring them together, you got a lot of continuity and guys that don't have big egos, and they'll be a little bit of a puppet. Like, we already know the McDaniels, much like the whole Belichick thing, like, yes, sir, okay, sir, may I have another, sir? And I think there's a big degree of they want that.
Listen, that's the best name. That's the best one I've heard, honestly. Like, I didn't even put that together, but that's honestly the best situation that I've heard, because you're getting an offensive guy, you're getting a guy who's taking a step up to become a defensive coordinator, right? And I think Josh McDaniels is going to bring in smart offensive guys. And the one thing I can say that I like with Josh McDaniels' system is he runs the football. He runs the football. So, I mean, everybody that wants to run the football here, Josh McDaniels won't shy away from the run.
The one reason why I just don't see that happening, or I'd be surprised, is just because, like, why would he take the job here when he turned down the coach job when he had Andrew Luck and a way better roster a couple years ago? And he's basically been appointed, he's going to be the replacement of Belichick. Like, why would he?
Left?
I think he had an idea Andrew Luck was retired.
Yes, completely agree with
my thought. Because that's why you do that the last hour.
Maybe a little note under the door, Rye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Don't come here. I'm out.
Yeah.
But I like Josh McDaniels for one other issue, too, or not an issue, but one other thing, too, is he's already failed as a head coach. And so now he knows coming into it, what did I do wrong in Denver versus what am I great at here in New England? Obviously, Tom Brady helps a lot. But what can I improve on? Like, what was the mistakes I made? However, he's got to answer one question. And to your point, Rye, why did you pull out of Indy in the last year and take Frank Ramos for one more year?
Yeah, and my other question, why? That's a great point, Greg. Has he been interviewed by any team this offseason? Like, I haven't heard his name come up once.
No, he was interviewed a couple times last year. Interviewed for the Packers job, I think it was, and he interviewed for one of the other ones. But I think one of the big ones that people were waiting on is the fact that Houston, because you had Caserio who left, but Deshaun's crying about he wants to say, and so right away to me, I thought that was instantly probably where you might see McDaniels. But then as soon as Deshaun started crying, I'm like, well, that's not happening. So that's where I started lining up the pieces and saying there's a lot of things that kind of flash and say there's some similarities in terms of what this guy's been dealing with, and maybe this is the right place.
Could
The only thing I'll pause on McDaniels is I wonder if he's just sticking around in New England because he knows Bill's out in a year or two.
Yeah, but what's left?
I'm getting that feeling as well that he's going to succeed the hoodie.
Yeah, but
Hey, there's not much left in the cupboard, but you trade for Ertz, you trade for Ertz, or you trade for Wentz, you trade for Ertz. Sorry.
And what's here? Like at the end of the day, what do we have here? $70 million over the cap? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree with you, Doug, that the situation with the Patriots, it's the worst it's been, since 2000. But the Eagles situation is not, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but it's not necessarily attractive either. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey,
it is for one reason, Ryan, one reason only.
Market.
Right? No, just if a coach feels like that, he believes that much in 11. If there's a guy out there,
it's because of Wentz.
Then it sells, and you have the sixth pick of the draft too. So you have a top pick and a quarterback. It can draw some people. Do I think it's the most attractive place in the world? No, but if I believe in Carson that much, it could make me come here.
It's better than the Jets, I'll tell you that.
It's coming up soon. That question. Did everybody go on the last one?
Breaking news.
Breaking.
Tampa Bay Lightning can still score the puck.
Semi-breaking.
I was going to say, what? We got Levine? We got Levine?
Yeah,
we
signed somebody.
Right,
even without Kucherov.
We're going to do that. I just calm down.
I'm surprised. You know what? Real quick, Tom.
I was waiting for this one.
You missed when Nate said it like 40 minutes ago when he said Levine was the guy. You stayed quiet. I looked over you. I'm like, Tom, did you hear it?
Trying not to. I was trying to ignore.
Yeah, I mean Levine. I don't know if Levine's the guy, but it was somebody that would be on the radar that you wouldn't have to give a lot up for. In my opinion,
I might be back on.
It wouldn't be a part of that conversation for Levine. In my opinion, I think you can get Levine without Ben in the question and the thing.
I agree.
I mean, money works with Danny Green, so
Danny Green, Tobias, Furkan, and picks. That's the move.
That's a lot for Levine too.
For some reason, my tooth is on fire, so I'm going to answer this and run in and take some Tylenol real fast.
It's Levine.
It's been on fire for like the last 45 minutes. If I got a little angry, it's because I got a lot of fire right here.
Yeah.
Right here. I can't go to the dentist right now because I have to stay in my house for the next 3 freaking weeks. But great, good timing. Good time. Welcome to Tom's life. Hey, anybody want to live on Tom's couch? No, you don't.
Maybe it's a good thing Philly didn't get Harden then, because then things would have really gotten contentious. Yeah, live on the air. Just would have been like a hockey game. You would have seen the two go flying.
The next one's a good one because this is such an unknown one. Like my heart, yes, I want him back, right? Like I want Zach Ertz back. In my heart, I want him back.
Is he a free agent?
No,
they traded.
No, he's not a free agent.
He's technically still got 2 years left.
He still got. He just wants a contract extension.
He just wants the extension. Yeah.
He thinks he's George Kittle. That's the problem. He thinks he's George Kittle.
No, he's not.
Ertz will not be traded. Agree or disagree? I still agree with this. I know it looks like it, right? Like it looks like it, but part of me thinks like if I'm a coach coming here, again, what's attractive to me? Quarterback, maybe. Tight end that has been successful. Like there's some pieces offensively. Like I don't need to trade a 30-year-old tight end. Like tight ends can play good, can be elite-ish till they're 33, 35. We've seen it plenty of times. If you can get open, you can get open. And he gets open. And I hate his yards after the catch. He's so Uncle Softy. He's more of a wide receiver, but he gets open. He gets open all the time. So I'll take him getting open. And I'll hope that they don't trade him because, like, I'm a lot like Doug Peterson right now, right? That's why he's not here because I still want to win. You guys lied to me. Y'all lied to me. Y'all told me retool. You didn't retool nothing. You lied to everybody. So I still want to win. So I hope he stays.
Ooh. See, the fan in me is telling me Ertz should stay. That's the problem. This is the problem with this question.
I went fanboy. I just went fanboy. I'm like,
the Eagle fan in you wants Ertz to stay, but is it done right? Obviously, we've all heard about the issue we had with Howie, the heated argument and things like that. I personally think the offense works with him better because, in my opinion, I think that sixth pick is going to be Surtain. Like I want Surtain. I want the corner. I don't want the receiver, unless it's Smith. Now, if it's Devontae Smith, I'm taking that all day. If he somehow falls,
we'll talk about that one in a little bit. That's the hardest one that I want to talk about.
Yeah, if he somehow falls to us to 6, then I'm just pulling the trigger because he's special. But I'm taking Surtain definitely. So I need more pass catchers. We've missed and whiffed year after year after year on receiver. And I think I've had a hard time with this. And I think I'll pose this out as another question outside of this question. Even though Ertz has put up elite numbers, and we've seen what Ertz does, is there really a drop off in production with Goddard in there?
The only drop off is he on the field? He's been nicked up a little bit more than Zach ever has been.
That's my biggest concern, Greg. You're spot on.
Really?
But listen, I mean, Nate, that's a great question. We were getting it done, and I'm not saying I want this for 16 games or 17. It looks like we're gonna have a 17-game season next year.
Even more fun. Well, more.
Yeah, I know. We got by with Richard Rodgers for like 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
I was just going to say that if Richard Rodgers proves that the field is wheelchair accessible, as old as he is, and he can catch balls and get open.
I like that.
Zach Ertz is cheap, man.
I like
he's got 2 years left. We're salary stricken. I agree, and not to cut you off, Ryan.
No, you're good.
Unfortunate part is he holds out, man.
It's the Guinness. The Guinness is bringing that out of you. I like it.
No, you're
in here. You can't waste time here. You got something to say. You got to just let me get it.
It's I-95. It's I-95. A lot of moving pieces. A lot of moving.
Just cutting people off.
Yes.
In and out of traffic. Bunch of assholes.
I'm going to say agree to the poll just because given where this team has been, and like you said, Tom, the circle of lies of where this team should have been, given where we are now. I said it 12 months ago. I'm going to continue to say it. He's going to be a Green Bay Packer.
Oh. So you disagree. You said agree.
You said agree. Disagree.
Or disagree with Packer? I don't think he's going to be a Packer at all.
It's going to be a Tampa Bay Buck.
Another tight end? They have like 7.
They're going to be gone.
You think Gronk's going back to the wrestling?
He fits well out in Seattle. He would be great out in Seattle.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. Him and Raxel.
Go back to his model girlfriend.
Fair point. It's a fair point.
Follow her on Instagram. You'll be all right.
Yep.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. We'll get it all out. Every Sunday.
I'll agree to the poll. Coming into this, if you're an offensive mind, especially knowing how much cap hell we're in, I would want to go and rerun the magic that Ertz and Carson have had in the past, and especially with all the dead cap tied to both of them. Now, I think Ertz is tied to like $8 million dead cap. I'm not looking at it for once. So there's going to be a hit to trade him.
Marquise, he moves like he's older than Richard Rodgers. His words after catches, he feels like he's 20 years older.
Yeah, dude. He could dress up like Gronk for Halloween. Just watching him kind of slow down and fall apart.
Just without the blocking. Guys still can't block.
His barbecue chicken.
No way. I don't know what that is. Is that like a good thing?
Is that good or bad?
No, that's bad. That's bad. That's why I call him Ronald Darby. That's why
you say barbecue chicken. Yeah, no, that's bad. I don't agree with that. I don't know what that's from. I don't know what you've been watching.
First off,
there's been 2 playoff games. Sheldon, I'm sorry, but there was 2 national championship playoff games where offenses went away from him.
We didn't hear his name once, and that's a good thing.
It's like offensive lineman. They just said, nope, you're over here. All right, we're over here.
I heard his name a little bit against Ohio State, obviously, because he dropped the pick that was deflected.
Yeah.
He had a one-on-one down the goal line where he got beat, which happens. I mean, your corners get beat, especially when you never get thrown at. And he got beat, and Fields threw a terrible ball. And then there was another one where he came up and where I saw him come up and make a good open field tackle. So, I mean, he's big, he's strong, he's physical. Let's let these guys, I know, Frank, Ralph, you guys answer the question about Ertz, and we can go to this. Who would you take at 6? And we'll go to that game real fast, too.
Go ahead, Frank. You can go.
Well, since I got cut off because the Tampa Bay Lightning scored, in regards to Robert Saleh, I do have him as one. Spoiler alert: I have him in my top 5 of realistic candidates for the Eagles head coach. So back to Zach Ertz not being traded, I disagree. I think he does get traded at some point in the offseason.
Remember when you interrupted an opening of a show for a breaking news?
Different. Well, that's different though.
Oh, we didn't even know the guy.
It's worse, Frank. It's actually worse. Sorry, but it's actually worse.
All right, so you like Saleh.
I like
Saleh.
Saleh.
Yeah. I mean, as a candidate for sure. I mean, I think he's a good leader of men, and I know one thing Jeffrey's for is that side of it too. So I'm not against him. I wouldn't be like throwing stuff if he got hired. Ralphie, you might. So Zach Ertz, I don't know. You answered Saleh already, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You didn't get cut off, babe. All right, let's go to Zach Ertz then.
Zach Ertz, I'm going to go agree. I think he stays. I think they run it back one more year with him and Carson.
Is that real? Battery exhausted me? Nate, we wore you out here?
It might be real.
We wore him out. 4-0. That's a sweep.
No, I'm back, baby. Don't worry about that. You're fucking right. There's no way I'm going off with a loss. We'll switch it up.
Here comes the blood down 3-1 to the Warriors. Here it comes.
Nate friggin' teleported. Damn.
Yeah, man. Switch it up real quick.
Frank, some real breaking news for you. Bill O'Brien to sign as Alabama's offensive coordinator.
I saw that earlier.
I thought that was going to happen.
Thank God, Doug. Thank God. Because I heard too many rumors that he was coming here. I can't do that.
Me either.
Oh, they're going to be. I mean, their offense is going to be explosive. So I mean, players. He's going to run a good ship. So you don't think he's going anywhere, Ralphie, in terms of Ertz, right?
Yeah. I think he stays. I think they run it back for one more year with him and Carson.
This is the hardest question of the night, and there's a couple more, but it's the hardest one. And this is added in since we were talking about stuff. Surtain or Smith at 6. Both are there.
Oh, Jesus.
God, this is the hardest decision. I'm a Devontae Smith lover. Before everybody was on their knees for him, the guy is just a playmaker.
Oh, you were there first, Tommy?
No. There's a lot of people there first. People come late, Nate, is my point, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm not one of the late
Sloppy
guys.
seconds, huh?
Yeah, I didn't just get on board. I didn't just hop in his bed now. I've been in his bed since he's been a freshman. Not my first rodeo with Devontae. But what I will say is this is the hardest one I've had to do because the other guy has been backpedaling through cones since he's been 4. I don't know what to do. You guys tell me.
Yeah, I mean, if they're both there, I mean, the need is obviously Surtain, I think. In my opinion, it's higher. We have to still see from an offensive skill set, and if Ertz comes back, that helps. But if Smith's there, you got to take Smith. He won the Heisman as a goddamn receiver. 20 touchdowns, 1,700 yards. It's just ridiculous. It's a no-brainer. They're both no-brainers, but I'll go with the higher talent. You can't miss on that, even though we've missed on receiver again after again after again. And I think you got to go with Smith in that spot. But I'm hoping they go with Surtain. And shout out to Marquise, man. I just came. It is getting hot, man. I had to come out my hat, man. Like, catching up with me, man. I see these comments. I can still fucking read though. Tell you that. shit ain't going sideways yet. You know what I mean? We're good. Let's go.
Tom, you know this. It was right there with you as far as having a combination of Slay and Surtain in our backfield. Talking about finally having 2 shutdown corners and an eventual protege to Slay once he moves on. And then just going to bed, right? I understand that we've gone back to the wide receiver well, it seems like 100 times in the last 7 years. But Devontae Smith is a bad man. He's a bad man. You just look in this one game alone. If people just saw him for the first time, if they just said, hey, who's Devontae Smith? I'm going to go see him. It was on Monday night. He had 215 yards in the first half. The entire opposing offense had 191. That was one game. One game. And then
the biggest game, too.
And the biggest game. Exactly. He broke the freaking college football record by the second quarter. It was like, well, damn. What? Really? That was the record? It felt like the record was wimpy just because of how quickly he did it.
See, one's going to show, right? Like one's going to show their impact more, right? And rightfully so. So like the one you see in front of your face and it looks like it can't miss would be Smith. And he is a can't miss. Like if you draft him at 6, it's a win. But man,
Still of the draft if you get him at 6.
yeah, if you get him at 6, I don't think he gets past Miami, honestly. I think they try to
No, he doesn't.
And Surtain might not get past Miami because Daddy played there, right? Like there's 2 legitimate picks that could go to Miami because there's connections in some way. Devontae Smith is one of the best kids ever. You know, when Saban talks that highly about it, I believe it. He puts out a lot of great kids. He puts out a lot of great winners and leaders. That's what Nick Saban does. That's why I love Nick Saban as a college coach. But his running mate, the guy on the other side of him, it's just as special. And if I got an opportunity, right? If I got an opportunity to lock down my secondary with the front 4 that I have in place, I could be a scary defense in the future. So that's why, as much as Smith was my guy literally until 6 weeks ago. When I studied Surtain a little bit more and watched him a little bit more and was like, I didn't even lock in on him as much. But I don't know. I'm so tired. I don't have that dead answer. Like, I'm glad I'm not making the pick.
Well, it's a good thing for our sanity, Tom, that I think we're all comfortable in saying we would be surprised if Surtain and Devontae Smith are both available at 6. I think we would be we'd be happy. Like, it's not a bad problem to have.
There's two things. We know how the NFL draft works, right? So very rarely, as talented as they are, very rarely are wide receivers going to go in the top 3. Very rarely. Not saying it's not happening.
Not you, Greg. I'm looking at John.
But here's the other side of it. As good as Devontae Smith is, and he's very, very good, Jamar Chase is better. And granted, he didn't play this year, and that's a knock on him, right? And that might be a knock, however you want to look at it. Jamar Chase is better. And that's going to sound like I'm hating on Devontae Smith, and I'm not. It's just, it is reality.
Is it reality?
Yeah.
Hold on. Is it reality, Greg?
Oh, no.
Yes.
When he played with, hold on, pump your brakes. I got to enlighten you, right? He played with the number one pick of the draft in Joe Burrow, all right? And let me add on. Let me take you another level here, Greg. Okay? Then he would have played with the 2 Rookie of the Year candidates if one didn't get hurt. All right?
Yeah.
I can't judge that. Devontae Smith out there with Waddle, and Waddle's like, eh. I mean, everybody wants
Devontae Smith last year had Ruggs and Judy with him, too.
It's different this year. He didn't. He won a Heisman.
And Waddle was going to be a first-round pick.
Okay, but Waddle didn't play a lot.
Not if he doesn't have that ankle. That ankle looks like he's gone.
National championship game that he did all year. He's going to be a first-round pick.
Look at Jamar Chase had around him, though.
Look, it's Alabama. It's not like Alabama and LSU are different.
I get you, but offensively, they're not going number 1 pick of the draft quarterback.
It's 1A, 1B. I'm with you there, right?
I'm just arguing the way you'd argue. You know that.
Yeah. I
like playing devil's advocate.
I hear you. But I completely agree with you. I'm going Surtain.
I mean, I'll blow somebody for Jamar Chase, so don't
get it quit. The only thing that stops me from going receiver is we just went there and we missed. That's got to give me pause.
But that can't.
You can hand deliver me a receiver right now. It's going to be a miss. I feel it in my bones. We're going to get the Heisman wide receiver who stinks. Can't even get open. That's our luck.
But you know what?
He won't score a touchdown here. He'll be with an umbrella. I don't want to say if he has a mom or not. I don't know. I don't want to talk. But his mom's got the umbrella over him, or dad's got over, or you know what I mean, or whoever. When we're talking umbrellas again, I can't.
Tom and Greg. Tom and Greg,
Greg,
you're spot on. The mindset's not wrong. It's like, okay, we're doing this again. We're going to open up ourselves to miss on another wide receiver. But we know how we are in this city. If we would look back on this 2 years from now, hell, maybe next year, 12 months from now, and we would say, well, damn, the wide receiver draft, we took the wrong guy. And then the 2 guys that are generational talents, Smith and possibly Chase, are sitting there. And then we don't take them. It's like, oh my God, we passed on them every year. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, if we, I know it's like a curse for this city. I know it's a curse for this damn GM who shouldn't even have a job. But if we hit on Devontae or Chase, I can't believe I'm saying this, but somehow it lessens the blow of the Rager and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Just
disagree.
A little bit.
Don't disagree.
It just does a little bit. And like I said, I'm a Surtain guy. But damn, if we could just finally get that receiver.
we can finally do it. Then I don't give a damn about Rager anymore.
It solves a lot of issues. You're absolutely right. And the one final piece on Surtain is Slay's got to opt out after next year. So
what's Surtain's 40?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
He's 6'2", 210.
I know, but I need to know how he
moves. Yeah, like that matters.
Well, no, I got to make sure I'm not drafting a safety.
He's not a safety. He's a corner.
No, I understand this. I understand this. He's a big corner. All right?
4'5".
4'5". Okay, we're all right. We're all right. I just want to make sure I'm not drafting a safety. Okay?
4'5".
He was born and bred to be a corner.
I know what it is. I've been talking backpedal since the womb, Nate. I've been telling you that Daddy would me backpedal through the womb. Right? I told you this. We know this.
Quick Google comped him to Byron Jones.
He'll have 0 picks his career in Philly. Patrick Surtain Jr. now.
Hey, I don't care as long as he plays shutdown corner. Him and Slay at the corner at the bookend. That's tough. That's tough to beat.
Tom, I'll take a safety too. I mean, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Like if he ends up
we're gonna drop and take Chase. We're gonna drop to like 9 or 10 and go get.
You think they trade back?
Can you just imagine that?
Oh no, that's gonna happen.
Just sitting there at 6 and then up. We drop all the way back down to 10.
Greg just disappeared on us with a question. Like Greg had a question and then disappeared. Doug, I don't disagree with that because they're in desperate need of players.
Yeah.
And you know Howie Roseman loves 1 million picks. So I got 1 million picks.
Loves 1 million picks.
30 to me. 30.
We can't hit one.
Two things real quick. Number one, Doug, I don't hate that at all. Number one, if we drop to say 10, you watch the Cowboys at 9. Jerry Jones is freaking he'll take another receiver just to take him from us again.
Exactly.
And 2, imagine if we drop to 11 and the 40 minutes of anxiety in this city, like, oh my God, we had Devontae and Surtain and Chase, and we dropped. But they're still there. Like, imagine.
All right, so I gotta go, y'all. The wifey is. You see this? You can catch me on the Money Pop Podcast OnlyFans. Gotta go. See you guys later. She came down and come get me. Catch you guys later. Lost money. See you later, Tom. Saturday. 10 o'clock, 10:30. Money Pop Podcast. Gotta go.
Later,
what an exit.
That's phenomenal. That's one of the best exits of ATD history. Dave Boss, Money Pop Podcast. Go give them a follow. Listen, make you some money, right? Make you some money. And then every Saturday, we played a little agree to disagree game that we're playing right now. And we run through like rapid fire, like 45 minutes. So a lot of fun with that. Sorry, go ahead, Rye.
No. So I was done. Like I said, I can't wait for that moment, Doug, because it'll be so much fun when we're on the air just panicking. But I also am fearful of that 40-minute stretch where we move back and we're just waiting for them to come back to us again.
Oh, God.
That's a great prediction. It's a great prediction.
I like where your head's at, though. I mean, we don't agree with Carson and Jalen too often, Doug, but we fully agree on this one because it's just their track record. Their track record is move back. Their track record, like the New England connection, like that Jeffrey Lurie, like literally would sleep with Robert Kraft. He'd be masseuse if he asked him to. I mean, that's how much he loves the Patriots. I could totally see Patriots guys coming here. I could totally see them trading back a little bit, but we'll see. Frank, Surtain or Smith?
For me, when you have a wide receiver that had a stat line in the first half that's better than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's entire career, you go with the wide receiver at 6.
Might also be better than Rager's career.
Absolutely.
Good.
And with that, I have to go as well. I got things to do in the morning, all day. But I will see you guys, or at least some of you, on Fan Friday.
Yes, sir.
As I reveal my top 5 for the for realistic Eagles coaching candidates.
Hell of a
so with that, I bid you adieu, and I'll play with my action figures. Ciao.
Later, bro.
See you, Frank.
Gromer.
I didn't know what he was going to say for a second.
I had no idea where he was going.
Yeah, I didn't know. For a second, I didn't know where he was going. I'm glad he went there.
Guy's a wild card. You never know.
Yeah.
But there's no matter what he did, he wasn't going to he wasn't going to outdo what we just watched.
Oh no, with the
Oh,
no,
God.
that was phenomenal. That
Heel?
was phenomenal.
I mean,
The heel, the purple tights or stockings. I
I
mean,
felt like I was watching Wizard of Oz with the freaking shoes under the building coming out. I'm like, oh my God.
I was at this stream and went inside. Len, what are you doing?
I thought he was chilling with Harden somewhere, hanging out in North Jersey.
No wonder he wanted him. No wonder he wanted him. That's deep
Paradise.
He's at the same Oh, God, I'm crying. Doug Peterson is the future head coach of the New York Jets. Easiest agree of all time. I'm surprised the deal hasn't been signed yet.
I'm kind of shocked too. It hasn't been done already.
I think I promised everybody tonight that deal would be done.
He might take a year off.
I'm with you, Ryan. I'm with you.
I mean, it was definitely. I mean, again, I'm not the biggest Doug guy, but it was definitely an emotional wreck of a year for him. I'm sure. You know what I mean? And the last 3 years, right? I mean, obviously you come down off the high, and then each year you get. I know it gets worse, or at least the situation gets worse and worse, right? Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he takes a year off.
That's probably Rye. I haven't heard anybody say that. Like throughout all these conversations and millions of conversations about it that we had, I've never heard anybody like say, you know what? Maybe the guy's just beat up, and he looked beat up, right? Like at the end of it,
he did.
Looked like he had no say over anything, and we knew this. Like, think about this. The report that came out in 2016 that Jeffrey Lurie and Harry Roseman wanted to fire Frank Reich. Remember this. He went to bat for Frank Reich and was able to keep him here. They won a Super Bowl, right? So in 2019, when he made the case to keep Mike Groh, even though we don't like Mike Groh, but that was his guy, he made a case to keep him, and the owner went behind his back and fired him, right? That started this whole process of like, wait, you don't trust me? Right? You don't trust me. Like, I'm the one who told you you better keep Frank. You better keep Frank, right? And you trust me then, we won a Super Bowl. I tell you, give me another year with Mike, right? Give me another year. We're going to get it right. And then you fire me on my back, force me into an offensive coordinator role as well because I don't trust the pieces around me enough, right? Yeah. That's the problem with this organization. It's a slap in the face to this head coach. Listen, everybody, when you win 4 games, guys get fired. Totally understandable, all right? Nobody's job's safe forever. But I think this is a scapegoat. I think it's unfair to a guy who is a damn good head coach, and when the owner tells me he shouldn't have been fired, I'm confused. So maybe something else can enlighten me.
I completely agree, Tom. And if this is true, the comment below. See, I didn't even see that. I was telling Ralphie and Frank the other day. I think he's going to take a year off just because of this reason. And Doug, you said you agree with me.
I do, because I think you guys know. Like for a while, I was kind of spitting fire about. Hey, I thought that the Jets made a whole lot of sense because of the Joe Douglas connection and him being part of the Carson deal with, drafting him. But when all said and done, my gut tells me that he's the one that went down there and told Jeffrey, I think I'm done. I think I need to step away. He's going to get paid. So regardless if he coaches or not, he gets paid. And I think you do have to step away. I mean, everything that kind of happened, it's like, yeah, the Jets job makes a whole lot of sense, but is he really going to be successul out of the gate with where the Jets are right now to make Lurie look like, oh, you were wrong about this? No, right. I agree with you.
Exactly.
That's another key piece, right, Doug? Like, if you go anywhere, you want to shove it up someone's someone's ass. And can he do that with the Jets? Right? Justin Fields, Zach Moss, or Sam Darnold, whatever, or Zach Wilson. Yeah. Whatever direction you go, is that going to make you better right away? Probably not.
Well, and the way I look at it too, okay, number one, Doug, you're spot on to where not only by Jeffrey Lurie's words and what he said, where it was like, oh, well, it's a real shame that he had to be fired. Well, number one, it was a stupid thing for him to say because he, at the end of the day, officially fired him. But that told me everything I needed to know. And that goes, and it was even before all that when you talked about perception, you hear the reports that he may not be afraid to get fired. He might be happy to be fired. You look at his temper and his attitude at the podium. It just the body language. We could see it from week one. His reputation, if he takes a year off, in my opinion, unless something crazy comes out, like it can only improve from here. Like right now, he's viewed as the guy who tanked away the New York Giants playoff opportunity. A year from now, that goes away. No one cares about that anymore. Hell, the Giants don't care about it anymore. And he's looked at as the best free agent candidate who just won a Super Bowl 4 years ago with a backup quarterback. Like he would be equivalent to what Mike McCarthy was last year. I think he's going to take that same boat. And again, he won a Super Bowl more recently than McCarthy and not with Aaron Rodgers. Like he won with Nick Foles against Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
And just to add to that, Ryan, I think you add in the piece that Doug kept saying a lot of times throughout the season, and we all got like tired of hearing it. I don't think he coped real well with the whole COVID dynamic of trying to get the team on the same page and put them together. And I think if he looks at this, it's like, I'm going to walk into a brand new situation and still deal with this crap and not have guys in and not be able to do what I got to do and install my offense the way that it should be. So why bother? I'm going to get paid. I'll sit home. I'll wait till this thing passes, and then I'll come back. He just kept saying that over and over again.
He's a big culture guy, Doug. You're spot on. And when you have so many moving pieces and you don't have a regular training camp, no preseason, you can't. We always kid around and we meme like the ice cream thing, like him always talking about that. But like that's the type of guy he is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? To where he's a culture guy. He wants to get everyone on the right page, and they want to know each other. You know what I'm saying? To where they can joke around like that. To where I don't see him rushing into a job. And I know some people think the Jets job is attractive because the number 2 overall pick, or people still think Darnold's something. It's not about that. It's about the holes with the other 16 positions. They still don't have an offensive line. They don't have a number 1 receiver. Denzel Mims is not that. Rashad Perriman's not that. The running back superstar.
I think Perriman's a free agent anyway.
So you're right, Greg, because they only signed a 1.
So.
Yeah.
And the other side of all that, everything that you said is a job like the Jets is always going to be around. There's going to be a job like the Jets every year.
Mm. And there's always
it might not be the actual Jets, maybe it is, but there's always a job available every year.
Yeah, every year there's going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 of open availabilities.
Well, Ralphie, does a guy like Peterson want to be in a market like New York from a media standpoint? No chance, right? I mean,
man, oh man, you know what? Doug, can you blame Doug for wanting out? I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, can you blame him for wanting out of this terrible freaking organization that has been just nonstop for the past 3 years? It seems like has been spitting lies to us every single day, and it just boiled down to, you know what? Doug probably woke up that Monday and just said, you know what? I'll say whatever I want. If I don't get fired, shame on me. If I get fired, let's go, baby. So, you know what? And it happened, and he got fired, and he's happy. He doesn't have to deal with the bullshit anymore. But here we are, January 13th, 11 o'clock p.m., and we're still dealing with the Eagles bullshit.
Well, thanks for the rundown. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great recap of our lives for the last 18 months, Ralph. I appreciate it. But to Ralph's point, Pat McAfee, I'll give him credit for this because he said it, so I'm not going to quote it. But Pat McAfee, he was talking about the Doug Peterson situation when he got fired, and he was like, "Well, damn, it seemed like Doug Peterson, to your point, Ralphie, was doing whatever it took to get fired out of that building." He's like, "Okay, I'll bring that."
That real early in the year. Yep.
Oh my God! You saw it. The Seahawks game with DK and Jim Schwartz. If you're Jim Schwartz, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to say, and hopefully I get fired the next day so I can get out of this goddamn misery.
Well, see,
He didn't, but he stepped away at the end of the year, and same thing with Doug.
You guys are right, but I'm not even talking about what he did during the season. I'm talking about what he did the last 72 hours, where he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to bring back Press Taylor. Oh, okay, that doesn't get me fired. Okay, I'm going to bring back Corey Youngman. Okay, that's not going to get me fired. Okay, here's this glass vase. I'm going to break it in front of you. Is that get me fired? Okay, here's a picture of Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman with the kids. I'm going to break this. Is that going to get me fired? Oh, okay, that got me fired. Okay, great. Whatever it took to get him out of there, that's what he was going to do.
Greg, that's the whole Jets nightmare. You're walking. It's like a wall. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street, dude. You're like, am I asleep? Am I awake? What the hell's going on? I'm gonna walk into a situation. I got a so-called franchise quarterback who's sitting there, and then we're gonna probably draft another one. Who the hell's gonna live that episode?
And the same thing you can say about the Eagles' destination as a head coach.
Ugh.
If you're a head coach, what makes you want to come here? Because you already know when you sign that dotted line for that contract to become the next Eagles head coach, you had no say. It's out the window. You got to listen to up top.
So
And
when
one
does
head
Doug
coach wants that?
So when does Doug throw the card on the table and let the world know that he was told to pull Ertz in the last game? And
He should have done it yesterday.
Oh,
the
But
day
I
he
think
got
he's
fired.
waiting. I think he's waiting.
Doug, that's easy. In his next book.
I was about to say, there's a book
Yeah,
coming.
it's his next, God, he wrote a
And
book.
it's titled "I Used to Be Fearless."
Yes. Listen, I mean, I think we all agree. It seemed like, damn, as quick as that book came out after the Super Bowl. Damn, was he writing that book at halftime during the Super Bowl? Doug, that book will be the #1 New York Times bestseller by the friggin' spring. Because if he's sitting at home, that's what he's doing. He's working on the book.
Oh, God.
That's what he's doing. And I guess what? I'll be the first one to buy it. I might pre-order it because that's where we're going to get all the answers.
Yeah.
What does he have to lose? Oh, here you go, Marquise. He says book titled "Fearing." Expired by Howie Roseman.
Forward by Howie Roseman.
Yep, inspired by the idiot moves of one Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. And I think this is a perfect transition. And I know this is one of the last agree or disagree Eagles question we had. Where does the Eagles coaching job rank? And I know we had a question which was agree or disagree. The Eagles job is currently the most unattainable or least attractive job out there.
God.
And if you need the list of all of the available head coaching jobs, it's the Jets, Chargers, Jaguars, Lions, Falcons, Texans, and the Eagles. So do we have them?
The most desire, if I'm a head coach, the one place I would want to go is the Chargers. Okay, that defense is stacked, and you already have a quarterback that can spin it. And he's a pimp already. So I think the Chargers job is the job that you want to have. For the least amount of job, I hate to say it because I'm a fan of the team, I'm going to go the Eagles. You're in cap hell. You almost have the oldest roster.
It takes 12 months to get out of it, apparently. It only takes 12 months to get out of cap hell.
Even
does it?
Anybody that knows, it only takes 12 months.
Because that might be another bullshit lie. Okay, so we'll see 12 months.
Ralph, it is a lie because he said that, but then 30 seconds later talked about a 2 to 5 year plan. So what the hell are you talking about, Jeffrey?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
For as long as I've been born, okay, I'm 24. So as long the Eagles never went into a whole, at least when I've been watching. It's never been a full rebuild. It's been that little sneaky retool, and then you get to the NFC Championship game, and it's all let's go, and then it's on from there. It's never been a rebuild. So if we're going rebuild, you might as well get rid of everybody and cut ties with everybody and get more draft picks. But then again, you got a guy that's sitting up there, your GM, that hasn't hit on any picks since he's been the GM. I think it was a 1 All-Pro, right? Forgot. That's 11.
Pro Bowler, not even All-Pro, Ralphie.
That's
not even
All-Pro you've selected so far.
Ralphie, not even
2016.
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, not even All-Pro. Pro Bowler, the easier one out of the two.
Yeah, Pro Bowl. Yep.
It's actually hard to get an All-Pro. Pro Bowl, it's like, do you want a Pro Bowl? Okay, here.
Miles Sanders was a Pro Bowler this year.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him.
I would rank the Lions and the Falcons below us.
Falcons, really?
Falcons, what are you doing at quarterback? Right? What are you doing at quarterback? And you got no defense, and you got an aging Julio Jones. And as much as Julio's a pimp, he's aging, and he hasn't been on the field a lot this year.
But the difference is you have say on what you want to do, though, Greg.
I don't disagree.
You have your fingerprint of the team. You don't have some fucking nerd above you saying, "Hey, dude, not today."
Dimitrov not the brightest bulb.
What happened?
Dimitrov isn't the brightest bulb down there.
No, absolutely. But I'm just saying, you don't have a GM in your ear 24/7, though, dude.
Come on, two franchises that have failed. I mean, they failed. They failed for a while. I mean, the Falcons and Lions have failed for a while. I don't care if the Falcons are good for a few years, all right? I mean, they failed for a while. So let's not act like Let's not act like these are great run franchises. Even the Jaguars, who are probably the most enticing, are a failed organization. They fail because their owner's a jackass, right? That's why they fail. They can have $90 million in cap space, Trevor Lawrence coming to town, and you don't have the power you think you do there either. That's the problem with all these jobs. The GM at all these jobs is going to control things, right? You got to go there and gain your power, which we thought was going to happen here with Doug Peterson. You gain your power because you win, right? And a lot of these organizations, that's where the struggle comes. The reason the Patriots were good for so long is they didn't have it. They didn't have it. They didn't get involved in power struggles. They got
went. Okay, sorry,
yeah,
Tom.
They got involved with what's best for the team to win, right?
Thanks, John.
You know, I don't know. I agree with Greg. I mean, Lions and Falcons to me are not, you know, these enticing jobs. The Jets are below us in an enticing job, in my opinion.
And Marquise, I do agree. Calvin Ridley is a pimp, but it's just him. If Julio still hurt.
I mean, I think the Eagles are a higher sell because of the division that we're in. Like, you're not going to have to come in and shock the world to make us, you know, relevant again. You know, I mean, Christ, we had 4 wins in week 16. We still had a chance. And if you kind of look around, I don't really know who we're competing against next year. I mean, the Giants think they're something, but they fell on their face the last 4 weeks. So the Jets take that job. It looks like the Bills are kind of taking the trophy there for a while. I think they're set for a period of time. So is it going to be real easy to step up? I don't know. The Chargers, yes, you're 100% right. You got a lot of good pieces there, but you're in one hell of a division. And for a first-time coach, that might be a bit daunting. So that's where I kind of still feel like the Eagles' job is probably in that top 2, top 3 kind of category. I mean, as much as I like the Chargers, I kind of like the Eagles' job just because you'll be able to have measurable impact and, you know, have your team in it a little bit quicker because of what you're competing against.
Yep.
I completely agree, Doug. I mean, when you look at it, you know, the Jets, they're the Jets. You know, even if they have the number 2 overall pick and, you know, you have young up-and-coming players like they want to promote themselves to have, you're all – I mean, and also you look at that division.
Texans, we didn't talk about the Texans yet. They can have Deshaun Watson all they want. They got a scumbag owner there too. So, I mean, like, if you really look at it, I can make cases between the Eagles and Chargers as the most enticing job, right? Like, not enticing, as the most, like, where I can have success, right? I don't know.
Most sellable job.
Yeah, I don't know what I have in Jacksonville. I'm getting a rookie quarterback. I better love Trevor Lawrence. I think that's more of a sell to an Urban Meyer, to a college guy, than it is to a pro guy, because there's a lot of unknowns in Jacksonville. But in terms of like a guy in the league, right? If we're looking for guys in the league, right? I think we're one of the more enticing sells, and I say it because of 11. Like around the league, he's not frowned upon. Like, he's not. Like, people around the league don't look at him like he stinks. Like, there's going to be – we know how this game works. Everybody thinks they're the smartest guy in the room, and everybody thinks they can fix somebody. That's just how the game works. That's why so many of these retread quarterbacks end up somewhere else, because I'll fix you. Dwayne Haskins will get a job because somebody out there will be like, well, I mean, Ron Rivera could fix him. He's a great head coach, but I'll get him.
It only takes one. It only takes one.
Yeah, that doesn't say that they're going to fix him, or he's even fixable. But
I have real quick. I have the Eagles ranked 3 out of 7.
Okay.
I've got Chargers 1, and to your point, Doug, it's like they're the most attractive thing, but you got to see Mahomes twice a year. So it's like, oh my God,
you ain't win that division. You ain't win that division for the next 10 years.
Then I have Jaguars 2. I've got Eagles 3. I've got Jets 4, Texans 5, Falcons 6, Lions 7.
You know what's funny, Rye? The Texans are last for me.
And I don't – listen, after the Eagles, it's a coin. You could put any of them last, and I understand it.
Tom, is that because it's an unknown with Deshaun?
Yeah. Your friend, quarterback, don't even know.
He wants out. He wants out. He's not staying. The world's on fire.
To me, though, like, I kind of ranked them kind of high because I put Deshaun, Herbert, and Wentz in the category of I know I got a guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So as a head coach, I'm going in there. I don't have to I might have to fix it, but at least I have a guy. Right? All those other positions, all those other guys. What is Detroit doing with Stafford? Is this their time to cut bait with him? What's Atlanta doing with?
Is he going to be there, right, Greg? Like if I'm a guy going in, I might want Stafford to be there.
Right.
It'd be enticing to me because I love Matt Stafford. I do like Matt Stafford.
I've always liked him.
Guy's never had a
team.
He'll find refuge. He'll be on another team. Don't worry. He'll find refuge.
He goes in New England. That's a problem. I'll tell you guys
Atlanta
that.
No, South.
You think so?
Yep.
In a dome?
Yep.
I like that, dog. I mean,
Starts with an I and ends in Olds. Yep.
Well, Colts, I mean, that would be a monster pickup. That'd be a monster. I mean, he's still got a lot in the tank, man. I like Matt Stafford a lot. He's a baller. He's a gamer. He's never out of games. I mean, they stunk this year, and they were in every game essentially. Like they were out of games, but like you're down 20, and next thing you know, they're down 6. They can't get a stop.
They got nothing to play for. The guy wraps up his arm, his elbow, his back, whatever. Dude, he's like, I'm just playing, man.
And he's still in. He still plays.
If they do what I think they're going to do, and they get Matt Stafford in Indy, they're by far they're like, it's, and no disrespect to the Titans, because I like what they've got down there. No one's competing with that. With what they have as a roster with Indianapolis, an offensive line, a running game, a great defense.
They had a lot of them things this year, and they failed. And they failed because of their head coach.
He wasn't great. He wasn't great this year, Tom. I will give you that.
A lot like Doug, and look a lot like things we complain about Doug about in the playoffs. Looked a lot real similar. Didn't run the football. They did run the football. They should have ran the ball 50 freaking times. 50 times. They should have stopped running the football. I mean, they were running the ball so well. Don't go run the ball. Philip Rivers is 90. Run the football. And then your 2-minute drive to go tie a football game up looked like it wasn't a win or go home situation. Where was the urgency?
Yeah.
Like a really weird situation. It's like, I don't know. Now, would you
Stafford to the Saints is interesting.
That'd be scary as hell.
That's an interesting thought process right there.
This is a weird one. How about Doug to the Colts as an offensive coordinator for a year? Could you see that?
No.
Takes a second fiddle. Write the book about a backseat. The next book's about a backseat tour.
No, like I don't know if you heard.
Tom, you missed it. We already had it.
We talked
Second book go.
Yeah, Doug and
a tell-all.
Yeah, he's like, when are we gonna hear all about the Howie thing? I said, well, Doug, that's why he's taking the year off. He's gonna write the book. He's writing the book. That's why he's taking the year off. New York Times bestseller by the summer. Book it.
We get into that's the only one I missed was the attraction.
Yeah, it was just the job.
You're right there.
All right, we'll run through these one. We'll run through these last ones fast. The Phillies will extend JT Realmuto. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. Move on.
Agree.
I agree too. The longer it goes, the more of a shot that they have to sign him. There's no market for him right now.
There's no market for anybody.
Nobody. Major Baseball put out the report that they're planning on going.
That's amazing. That's an amazing comment. As the book title?
The book title. It was.
I'm about to block you for 5 minutes. You understand me? I love you to death. You and Greg are an issue together. Right? You dog hate is a problem. All right? I almost hope the next coach fails so bad so I can just come at you two. I almost thank you for the team so I can just come at you two for the next 5 years of failure while Doug's in New York freaking going to freaking AFC title games.
Oh, my
with freaking
God,
James Darnold.
Tom, I still disagree to the JT Realmuto thing, but I am about as close as I've been since I think Realmuto's gotten here to saying I agree that it's going to happen just based off of what you guys said. He's not getting paid what he wants. There's no chance. He's going to get paid around 80 mil, which is like 70 mil less of what he thought he was getting paid.
I don't know about that because who just inked up somewhere for a big deal?
It was probably the guy, the Mets guy.
McCann. James McCann was the catcher. Who you're thinking about?
Yeah, what was his deal?
I'm pulling it up right now. It was with the Mets.
Yeah.
4 years, 40 million. That's not a huge deal.
I still think he gets $100 million no matter what happens.
Wow.
Like he's not going to get the $200 million deal he was looking for because that's the ballpark of him. But he's going to get 125. I mean, it's impossible for him not to. I don't know how he does it.
I'll tell you the team then. I'll tell you the team.
Us. No, 125 helps us, Rye.
Yeah.
Because we're the ones who don't want to go 200 million.
Yeah.
We're the ones scared money. And not stupid anymore. We're scared. So, and Kirby's right. The only way this team competes this year, guys, is if JT and Didi are both back on this baseball team. It's the only way they compete. It's the only way they got to out-hit people. The
the team that's going to pay the most for JT, if he's going for money, it's going to be Detroit.
See, I think I don't look at him as that kind of guy though.
And I don't either.
Like I can't see him taking an extra $20 million to go lose.
Yeah.
Right, or $25 million to go lose.
He did have he broke bread with Dombrowski right before Christmas. I was reading that today. They met in person in Oklahoma. Just kind of like a meet and greet. He said nothing was little dip. Wifey's saying, "Hey girl."
Why would
obviously nothing was formally yet put out there, but the conversation and the meeting took place. That's encouraging to me.
Well, think about this, Doug, Greg. I want to ask you guys. You guys been around baseball long, like I have. In terms of not that you guys haven't, you're just a little younger. But like, why would Dave Dombrowski come here, knowing his track record, if JT wasn't staying here? Like, why would he?
Dombrowski's MO from the jump has been fundamentals, right? You got to be strong up the middle. So you got to lock down your catcher. You got to get your shortstop. You got to get your second baseman. You already got your center fielder. So you got to at least get two. Two of the three would tell you JT and DD got to be a part of it. And I think he's got leverage because if you're JT, do you really want to lock up a long-term deal right now? I don't think you do. I think we actually end up getting them for like 3 years, maybe 4 years at most, because you don't know what the market fluctuation is going to be. So, yeah, you're going to get a discount, but you're not going to give him a 7-year discount. You're going to give it 10, not fair to him. And on the flip side, we don't want to lock horns and say, hey, man, we're going to give another Harper contract out, not knowing what the season's going to look like.
I didn't think of that with the shorter deal, 3 for $75, right? Yeah. Still gets you your $25 a year, but you're right. No one's locked into it. He can still go at 32 or 33 and get another contract, especially with the universal DH. If it's not back this year, it'll at least be there in 3 years, right? So he can still go get that contract. But no, you're absolutely right. And I think you're right. Both would be great, but you at least need JT. Yeah. You can get by with somebody else at shortstop. Not that I'm disagreeing, but you need JT. There's nothing else that you have here and that's available that's better than that for this team. If this team wasn't spending $330 million in right field, I wouldn't be saying that, right? We go with whoever we can bring in. Let's just get through the year.
That's why I don't
have that out in right field.
That's why I don't let Didi out the door either, Greg. Because
I don't disagree.
You're trying to win now. You talked about winning up the middle, right? I mean, I'd rather have Segura play second than Kingery. At least I know Segura can hit, right? I'd rather, worst case, okay, if Hoskins isn't back, then I want to be able to put Bowman first. I want to be able to then maybe put Segura at third, put Kingery at second there. But my ideal lineup would be Bohm, Didi, Segura, and Hoskins. That would be your preferred infield. And Hazley, to me, I like him, but I don't love him. He's still young, but I like Adam Hazley.
He didn't take the jump for me that I was hoping for last year.
And it was a shortened season, so we'll take it for what it is. But that's at least your middle is full of veterans. So I mean, Hazley isn't, but the rest, like Doug was saying, Real Muto. If you bring Didi and you got Segura, I mean that team can hit, man. That team can hit with the Dodgers last year. That team can hit with anybody in baseball. They just couldn't get it damn out, and that's the difference maker. So if I want to compete, I got to start with saying, well, I got to get back to what I did last year with hitting the baseball and driving the baseball and barrel a lot of stuff up in crooked numbers. Well, listen, they've already brought in some they already brought in two arms that have had a little bit of success at times. It's at least it's something different. I can't believe that they're going to come in this spring training and not have at least a halfway better bullpen, right? Which makes you a playoff team if Didi and JT are back. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns with the Phillies. It's going to be a weird year. And I really hope that everything sort of ramps up here in the next month in baseball. I mean, the Mets are like, hey, did somebody say winter meetings? Hold my beer. And they're making moves, and they're better than us. Let's make this clear. They got the best. I would take 1,000 Francisco Lindors. Okay, 1,000. It's a better deal than Bryce Harper. All right. I mean, to me, Machado and Lindor are consistent guys where Harper isn't as consistent. But I mean, we're a Bryce Harper MVP year away from competing. I mean, you want to be real. I mean, He's capable of it any year to put it all together. I talk to Potts a lot. Doug knows Potts. Potts, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
He knows when he gets in his issues. This is why I get so mad at him, because he knows when he's starting to pull off baseballs, and his biggest success is staying middle away, which we teach every kid when I do a lesson with. We don't start pulling baseballs. We start, hey, if you can drive a ball that way, now you got confidence.
Yep.
Everybody can pull a baseball. So he's way better than that. I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself to carry, and he doesn't realize if he stays inside himself, he'll carry just fine.
Yeah.
And so, I'm excited.
And we saw glimpses of that last year. To your point, Tommy, we saw glimpses of that last year, right? That first quarter of that season, he was MVP.
Yep. Yeah.
He was at least in the conversation. He was red hot.
You're right. Everybody went on JT.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think so.
Phillies. The Phillies will make a big trade before the season begins. I'll disagree with that because I just don't know. There's so many unknowns. I don't know who the hell they're going to trade for. They got nothing to give up. So I would say disagree.
Yeah, now that Lindor's gone, I mean, Lindor's the only one that you probably I would have agreed for, just because, Tommy, to your point, who else is available? I'm going to go disagree as well.
There's only one. I disagree. There's only one blockbuster move that I think is in the cards.
You got it, right.
For you, Chris Sale.
Oh, Chris Sale.
Wow. I mean, I might not even need a fucking bullpen. I know starters.
Check, please.
If there's going to be a major move by Dombrowski, it's going to be pitching.
I agree with him.
I will agree there.
You would hope so. You would hope so, because this bullpen still stinks.
Sorry, Ralphie. What'd you say?
Said your bullpen still stinks.
Yeah.
But if you have three aces.
And Dombrowski, remember what he said in his introduction? He called himself an old school guy, and he believes he wants guys that can go 7, 8, 9. He's not like this new wave of thinking that he's going to let his starter go 5, 6. If they have the stuff, and if we have the stuff where our top three is friggin' Wheeler, not in this order. Well, it would be Sale, Nola, Wheeler, or anything in that order. Yeah. You have the stuff to complete some games there.
Now,
Kirby, where do I sign up? Where do I pick up Mickey Moniak in this pitching prospect, Kirby?
I will take my top three for pitching. I will take Nola, I will take Wheeler, and I would take Chris Sale any day of the week. Let's have some fun this season.
I'm telling you, just keep an eye on that. I don't know. Like, I know the health thing is always an issue with Sale, but that would also make him more enticing. I'm just saying, Chris Sale, that could happen at some point, especially if we're competing. If we get off to a hot start and we're competing, just
connect,
keep an eye on it.
Connect the dots, right? And Benintendi's another connect the dot relationship talk, right? I mean, this is all baseball.
And who's the guy I've been talking about at nauseum on Fridays, Tom? And like I was going to say to you, Greg, because I don't think you've heard me say this yet. I love Hazley, but I'm not even worried about him because I think Jackie Bradley's going to be here in a month.
Okay. Or like the Boston Philly party.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I don't know about Jackie Bradley. I like him, but he can't hit.
No, I can't.
Yeah. Listen, man.
He does lock down center field. Sorry, Doug. He does lock it down, but he can't hit for lick. I can hit better than him, and I can't hit.
Easy, babe.
In this ballpark, though?
A guy that's not good defensively, but I feel like he could make a big contribution to the team because I think he's another guy that's going to be kind of like what Didi was last year. We almost got him at a discounted rate. The guy wants to kind of do another prove-him deal. So I think it's Ozuna. He can't play for shit in the outfield, but he can hit, dude. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that can pick up your lineup no matter where he's batting and no matter who's in a slump or who's not.
Is he available?
Yeah. I mean, from an Atlanta standpoint, it's like I keep seeing kind of things about, trade this or trade that. They haven't made him a legitimate tender. So, you might have to move a piece. I got to tell you, you talk about Hazley. I would almost send Hazley there to bring him if that's what we needed to do.
And then I wonder if Kutch,
who's the left
to the ACL can go to center.
Yeah.
For a year, right? Like just go to center for a year. And find, Moniak, we're going to find out if he can ever play. But, at least Kutch can go to center field for a year. And now your outfield's going to lose some baseballs. I'll tell you that much.
And
your outfield's going to lose a couple, which is what you want. And your corner outfield positions drive the baseball. right? They hit home runs. Your corner infield guys hit home runs, right? Bomb, who I love. I mean, Hoskins is I can't stand him, but he drives a baseball. So your corners drive baseballs. You're on all sides, right? So I mean, you're setting up to be. I don't even need any more pitching. I just feel like I hit everybody. But
and to your point, Tom, with McCutchen possibly going to center, just for the sake of his legs, they could always do what they did with Burrow at the end of his career here, where they take him out in the 7th, put Roman Quinn in there. You know what I'm saying? Finish some games with Roman Quinn at center. That's okay.
Still got Roman here. All right. Next one. The Flyers are legitimate Stanley Cup contenders.
Agree.
100% agree.
Agree.
Way they played tonight out of the gate. Holy cow.
I think they're second in their division. I think they're top 5, top 6 overall. Absolutely. And to get multiple scoring tonight from a bunch of different guys again.
Yeah. Very deep team. Thank God.
Let's go. Giddy up. That was fun to watch tonight.
Yeah, well, Tom, you mentioned it even before we came on. You know, like, when's the last time we seen wingers like this with the Flyers that are just like have their hair on fire, go out there, make it happen? We know we got great defender between the pipes. So, I mean, you got that kind of offense who's willing to risk. And I think that's something we haven't seen from the Flyers in a long time, was just throw caution to the wind, but just get up the ice and score. I haven't seen it. We saw it tonight.
Doug, to your point, 12 guys on the Flyers had at least a point tonight.
It's crazy.
12.
Yep.
And Patty is back. Let's go.
I was so excited to see him back tonight. And I think he had 2 points tonight.
He had a goal.
He had an assist and a goal tonight. 2 points.
And Farabee
had what, 5 points?
Yeah.
Patrick's the key. He's so talented. He's so good. He's so important to, your second line. I mean, it's such an important get back because you never even thought. I mean, it's such a talented young kid that there was a point last year we didn't know if they were going to play again.
Yep.
And for him to be back on the ice is a win, and his hockey team needs him because he's part of that youth movement that we desperately need, and a goal scorer, right? I mean, we talk about goal scorers, talk about wing, Konechny. I think Konechny lit the lamp tonight once, right? I mean, Konechny's got to score 40 goals this year. You know what I mean? Like, you need a 40-goal wing scorer. You need a few of these guys that can just light lamp.
Especially in a short season, you definitely need some players to step up big time for the Flyers this year.
What happened? How many games is the NHL playing?
56.
56.
At 82.
And you only play in your division. So you play like Pittsburgh 8 times, the Rangers 8 times.
And they're all back to back.
10. Yeah, and it's like college hockey where you play the same team for back to backs.
They're like mini series. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're like 2-game series.
It's like baseball. it's basically like baseball, right? You play the team, 3 straight, and then you move on to the next.
I saw this stat on Twitter. So Joe Farabee, like we said, he tallied 1 goal and 3 assists in tonight's game. He's on pace for 224 points in a 56-game season. I mean,
it's the new number. It's the new number. I love it.
I mean, Patrick Laine, who? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, it's such a Philly thing, though. My biggest fear for the Flyers, when I say it's such a Philly thing, this will be the year that we make a run for the Cup and not a goddamn person can be in the building.
Yep. I was just thinking that tonight, like with Oscar Lindblom and even Nolan Patrick coming back, like, how awesome would that have been? And I get everything, right? You know what I mean? But how awesome would that have been if there was fans there to give them both, especially Oscar, the love that, like, that he deserves.
Yeah.
I mean, all you got to do is sign on social media.
Well, yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. But no, I hear you. It would be the year that, they win it all and you can't be there. That's how it would work. Or they get struck with like COVID cases during the playoffs, and
it's the same thing it's the same thing that freaks me out about the Sixers, man. Yeah. It's like, we got a lot of great things that are kind of mixing it up here, and I feel like that's almost like a whole other show. I almost feel like, as a fan, what the hell is it that you do? You never want to vote for your team, or root for your team not to do well. But on the flip side, it's just like, dude, just like throw the handcuffs on me, torturing people.
Doug, at least we could say with the other 2 teams, the Phillies and the Eagles, they were happy there weren't any fans anywhere near. Friggin' bottles and batteries would be flying on that field.
So I guess TK's goal was given a Lindblom, which was cool, even better.
Cool.
Yeah.
I saw he got. Is he okay? I saw he got banged up at the
I
end.
just
Yeah,
think
he's fine.
he took a puck to the inside the knee. That's always fun.
Okay.
Be cancer, take a couple pucks to the face.
True. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Hey, BK, you're good.
Any other questions over there, Tom?
What else we got? We got the top 3 QBs in the NFL in order are Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson. Disagree.
I also disagree.
Yeah, disagree. Mahomes,
disagree.
Rodgers, and Wilson. Yeah, Wilson, man.
I think Josh Allen has jumped Russell Wilson.
Josh Allen.
Now, career-wise, obviously Russell Wilson, but right now, like the best 3 quarterbacks are Mahomes, Rodgers, and Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen might win MVP. He's in the conversation. I don't know if he gets. I think Rodgers gets it, but he's in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my top 3, Tom. Right, at least right now.
I'd put Taysom Hill up there.
Oh. Trying to get blocked from the stream.
Taysom Hill won me some good fantasy money. I'll tell you that, dude. Down the stretch. That ESPN disaster. I had a quarterback at tight end for like 2 weeks. It was awesome.
Wow.
Oh, you were able to get it before they changed it?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, you lucky.
See, I'll forever despise Taysom Hill for 2 reasons. Number one, that trick play against this when we played the Saints in the playoffs, where it was that fake punt. Remember, we were up 14-0, and then that fake punt changed it all. That number one, and number two, I mean, he's the reason why they drafted Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had to hear 100 times, "Hey, Taysom Hill on steroids." It's his fault. It's his friggin' fault.
It is his fault.
Ralphie?
I'm gonna go disagree as well. I think Allen's up there as well, but for the MVP race, it's definitely going to be Aaron Rodgers this year. It's got to be Rodgers.
Alexis,
the dude balled out, man.
Alexis, I have Watson 4 right now.
Yeah, Watson's a pimp.
Yeah,
Chicago wishes they had Watson.
Very
I wish we had Watson.
Mahomes.
Yeah. I think Watson this year proved the fact that it wasn't just D-Hop making him look good.
Yeah.
Biggest thing.
I just hope he doesn't. I hope for his sake, and it doesn't look like he's going to stay there. He looks, when you look at a career path, if he stays with Houston, he's going to be like the second coming of Stafford, where, you know what I'm saying, just all the talent in the world, but no organizational support.
No help.
Yeah.
No help at all.
So get out of there, man. I mean, I know Sweeps will love this. Go down to friggin' Miami. Get down there. Find refuge, please, and stay out of the East. Stay out of the NFC East, please, for the love of God. Don't come here.
Tommy, you see this comment, buddy?
Yeah, it's
yeah. I mean,
Baker top 10.
He absolutely is a top 10. Yeah, he absolutely. He's earned it this year. I mean, you can't overlook leadership. You can't overlook the completion percentage. You can call him a game manager. People want to call him a game manager. That's a joke because same people want to call Russell Wilson a game manager. Guy makes plays when you need him to make plays, right? And for him to get this franchise not only to the playoffs finally, right, but a playoff win, it puts him in the top 10, man. I mean, like, listen, the change of culture of losing is hard. It's hard. The Cleveland Browns have showed that. Like, I think Baker Mayfield, I know people out there like Sweeps don't like him, and other people don't like him because of some of the antics, but the antics created a culture of toughness, of winning. And that's like a Sweeps guy, which I'm always surprised with. You don't love Baker more because like that wheelbarrow nutsack is a Sweeps guy. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about Sweeps, but I know a lot of people don't like him. But that's his type of guy. That's what surprises me about like you don't like Baker. You know what I mean? Because that's totally his guy, and he's absolutely top 10 right now. I'm not going to go any higher than that. You know what I mean? But I mean, look at his numbers this year. Look at his completion percentage, and look at the wins. Look at the wins. So, I mean, to go and win that game without your head coach and your offensive coordinator and to win that football game in Pittsburgh, I mean, I don't care what the defense – I don't care if Ben threw 4 picks. Like, you got to go still win the game. Mm-hmm. And they did. And he was money offensively. So, yeah, I mean, somebody disagree with that? Anybody think he's outside of it?
I mean, there's 8 teams left, and he's still left, so –
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
I mean, if you just go off of that, right? I mean, at Philly Sports Passion, don't put that evil on us.
I could see
Please,
it. That's why
please
I'm
don't
afraid.
put that evil on us.
I could see it.
Oh, it's realistic, absolutely.
But I mean, it scares me half to death. I'm not a Baker guy, but I do agree with you, Tom. I do completely. And plus, I mean, I'm not trying to say he's friggin' like he's 21, but he hasn't. I mean, he still has a lot of room to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a finished product. And I keep saying that. You know, last year I keep comparing, and I believe this to be true. Like the Carson Wentz situation this year, with the lack of offensive line continuity with the offense. That's what Baker Mayfield went. You know, he went through that the entire last year when he had to run for his life and he had all those weapons and it didn't matter. And he went through that a lot in his rookie season. And he's in the playoffs right now. And he got his team to the playoffs with nobody around him. I mean, you see all the health problems they've had with the COVID situations, and they're still there. So while I'm not a big Baker guy, he's proved me wrong all year.
And if we would eat him up in this city in terms of love. But
he is Philly. He is Philly.
Yes. Second, he threw his hat on backwards to take a shot at a coward. That video would get posted everywhere and go viral, right? Like we got to look at it both ways. If that guy played for this franchise, we would love him. So that's how I've always looked at him. I love the stuff he did at Oklahoma, right? Like he's a tough cat. He's a tough cat. The last ones are just the playoff run throughs. We already sort of talked about the Stafford to the Colts, so we don't have to go back to that again. So real quick, we'll run through the playoff games, give your predictions, and we'll get the hell out of here. You want to come up? Thanks. All right, first one, Saturday game, first game of the weekend, 4:35. Rams at Packers. Green Bay 6.5. We'll go against the spread on these picks too. So Green Bay minus 6.5. Who you taking?
Green Bay.
Green Bay outright.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're favored. Of course they're going to win outright.
Yeah. You don't know the betting. You don't. Ryan Ralph.
I know you don't know the lingo.
Honestly, I just wanted to say outright. outright.
Good. Okay.
In Green Bay, right?
Yes, in Green Bay.
Yeah, in Green Bay.
6.5, man, it's big. With the points, I'll go with the Rams. I think they find a way to make it a field goal game.
Completely agree. If there's a defense that can knock them off, it's the Rams. They're tough. They got a number one corner to go with Adams. They get pressure up the middle on Rodgers. I'm going to take the Rams to cover.
I'll go Packers. Aaron Rodgers is on the FU tour, and it's going to go.
I can't disagree with you. Ravens at Bills, 8:15. Bills minus 2.5.
Bills.
Yeah, I'm going to ride the Josh Allen train. I know it's the playoffs and it's unknown for him, but he popped his cherry last week.
Yep.
He popped his cherry. It came down to be a tougher game than they thought, or at least the way it started. So that was a growth opportunity. Bills roll.
I'm going to agree with it. I mean, Bills are my Super Bowl pick at this point, so I'll ride them out.
Tom, what was the line?
2.5.
Yeah, I'll go Bills. I think it's a close game though, just because the Bills have had some trouble stopping the run this year, and that's obviously what the Ravens do really well. But it's not gonna. It's gonna be more than a field goal game.
Ravens defense is really good. Bills are my Super Bowl pick, so I'm not going to go against them. So give me the Bills. Same with Doug on that one. Browns at Chiefs. Kansas City minus 10.
Wow.
Give me the Browns. I'll just say, give me the Browns. Denzel Ward's back. They get their slot corner back. They get their secondary help back for a game where you need a secondary. Listen, if there's a team that can go into Kansas City,
Don't say it.
And give them a run for their money, it's the Cleveland Browns. And why? Because they can run the football and keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. The Kansas City's biggest weakness is their defense. It's their run defense. It's their pass defense. They're not good defensively. They can light you up on the scoreboard. But if you keep Mahomes on the sideline, you make that game a lot closer. I'm not saying Cleveland outright. I'm just saying they cover this game. This game's going to be a lot closer than people think. The money's all going to go to Kansas City because they're going to think roll job. Sometimes, I know Andy's great off of buys, but you come out a little stagnant. You don't come out with a lot of fire. You get caught with your pants down. Boom. Next thing you know, if Cleveland gets up in a lead here of 10,
the first snap of the game.
If Cleveland gets a lead in this game, it's going to be tough for Kansas City because they're going to pound the football. They're going to pound the football. They got 2 bell cows to do it with, a Kareem Hunt pissed off game. I mean, whoa, I got a weird vibe about this one.
I'll double down. I'll say it. Cleveland wins the game.
Greg?
I'm with you, Greg. I don't know why. It's
the vibe of the year. They got through like what they went through last week without all their coaches, without half their offensive line, without Denzel Ward. They got through Pittsburgh. They got through their arch nemesis. They got through the big brother, the bully in the high school. Baker threw it out on the table and flipped it around, and now he goes to do it against Patty Mahomes.
And I put it in the belly 40 times. 40 times on Saturday or whatever. I think that game's Sunday. I put it in the belly. Yeah, Sunday. I put it in the belly 40 times and say, I'm keeping you off the field, man.
Greg, I completely agree with you. The 2 biggest things that I've worried about the past 5 weeks about the Chiefs heading into the playoffs is that they struggle against the run, and you look at the 2 running backs that the Browns have, and that they have the worst red zone defense of the teams left in the NFL. So I'm right there with you. I'm going Browns outright.
Now that's a good use of it.
Wow.
Well done.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this a little bit differently. I mean,
Doug's like, what did I get myself into?
Kansas City is 3-5, I think it is, against the spread. They're not very good against the spread. Double digits. I'll take the points for the Brownies. But let's be honest, man. I mean, the Brownies, super emotional game, monkey off their back type of deal. Last week in the Steel City, they came out of that gate, 28 points, blinked, and the next thing you know, it was hold on for dear life, and let's hope to God that we can pull this one out. I just feel like there was way too much from an emotional charge in that. They faced the Steelers 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back. Do they keep it a touchdown game? I think they do, but I don't see the straight up. I don't see the upset.
Ralphie?
No,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
absolutely
going
fair.
Chiefs. I'll go Chiefs on this one as well.
You're taking the 10 points too?
Dude, I'm not a Vegas guy. Just give me the
Do you think
Chiefs,
they're gonna
man.
win by more
Just give
than
me the
10
money
points?
line. Just give me the money line. I'm going Chiefs.
You're not winning any money. That's
The money line's like minus probably 700 or
Yeah.
something.
I'm going to take the money line and get burnt like I did by Sean
Yeah,
Marion.
that was a bad time to say money line, Ralphie. That was a really bad time to say money line. Do you know, Ralphie, do you think the Chiefs are going to win by more than 10 points?
No, I don't
minus,
think so.
it's minus
Okay.
500, Ralphie, on the money line. You'd have to risk 500 to win a Hundy.
No, yeah, just give me the Chiefs still. Just give me the Chiefs still. But I don't think they win more than 10 points.
You're not taking the Chiefs, then.
Browns.
You're taking the Browns to
No, I'm
cover.
taking the Chiefs, dude. Just give me the fucking Chiefs.
I'm moving on. Buccaneers at Saints. New Orleans -3. Give me the Buccaneers. They went outright.
Yep.
You don't beat a good team 3 times in a row.
This one's easy. Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Dude, I don't listen. I understand the record in the Super Bowl and all that stuff. This is the NFC, baby, and you're playing Drew Brees. I'm going Saints.
Push the ball down the field.
Drew Brees stinks right now.
I'm going Saints.
You guys
I'm
all
going Saints.
go ahead. That's why you lose money in Vegas.
Absolutely, I'm going Saints.
Yeah, Ralphie.
This is the easiest game of the weekend. They beat them twice already. They're not beating them 3 times. That is not.
And
They've been
there's,
good.
yes, the Superdome's going to be empty.
You're right. It's different if there's fans, right, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to a Saints game with the fans, dude. It's against the Bucks, as a matter of fact. Ironically enough, most insane scenario you could ever imagine. Multiply it by 5, and this was like a regular season game without the fans. Yeah, bro. Tom Brady's going to pick them apart, especially on turf, indoors. You know, we talked about Tom Brady at one point. I think it was indoors, or maybe even you guys were the one saying it, and I was watching. But you know, like his record down the stretch inside without the weather, phenomenal, dude, phenomenal.
This might be a long job. This might be a beatdown. I got a weird vibe about this one too. A lot of road teams. This is the weird thing about this weekend. A lot of road teams. Outside, like the Ravens can beat the Bills. I mean, that line's 2.5. It tells you that they can beat them. You know, but the Bills are my Super Bowl pick out of the AFC. But you know, even that one, Rams Packers. I mean, yes, it looks like a Packers easy game, but the Rams can get palmsy. The Rams play defense. The Rams take the football away. The Rams get pressure on the quarterback. I mean, all these games are set up like where the Rams can go beat the Packers. I mean,
Packers have laid a couple eggs too, Tom. The Packers this year have laid a couple eggs this year.
No
Is
left.
Aaron Donald playing?
It's up in the air. We don't know.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was an issue.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no, he left the game. Yeah, he left
somebody's
the game.
helmet came down on his like hippish, like it was hip.
Yeah.
Carver's an idiot. Like watching the same thing I'm watching. He's like, oh, it looks like he got rolled up on his knee. What are you talking about, dude? It's right in his like rib cage area or like hippish. But even the Browns, they got a formula that can beat the Chiefs. Now, will they? We'll find out. But they get the formula too. Buccaneers, you don't beat a team 3 times. You just don't. You beat bad teams 3 times. But these teams know each other. It's gonna be a weird weekend. Best of luck, everybody, trying to win a couple of Fazools out there. We wish you the best of luck. But to me, outside of the Bills, take the dogs. Take the dogs. Dog City outside the Bills game.
I completely agree with you, Tom, when you look at those games because, with the Rams, it's tough. And like you said, the Packers have laid a couple eggs. The only reason why I'm very confident in the Packers, it's because I think the way the Packers defense is, they're going to try to eliminate Cam Akers, who was like the superstar of last week's game.
What's the Packers' weakness, Rye?
Well, yes, it is. It is. But I think it's going to come down to having Jared Goff have to beat Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau, and I just don't. Anything can happen. I just don't picture that happening.
What are the Rams? Well, though, they run the football.
Yeah, I mean they do a lot well. Yeah, but they run the football. Yeah, they run the football very well.
They're another time control, play action.
They smother you. They smother you. Yeah,
they're the same type of team that the Browns are in a way. They just don't run it as well as the Browns, obviously. But like. These teams that are ball control teams that can play defense, they're the tough ones. They're the tough outs. Obviously, the Rams have better defense than the Browns, but getting Denzel Ward back, and I forget who their slot corner is, that's huge because they just won a game in Pittsburgh against all them wideouts with me and you playing corner. And then them guys now go to lower roles. How are they not confident? I mean, their chest is out here walking around their facility. I mean, like if I'm a Cleveland Brown guy, I got so much momentum going in this football game because I took out my Goliath. Right now, could that be an egg? Yeah, you could be 45-0 because you're resting on your laurels. But the other side is your confidence is finally there. You can feel like you can beat anybody.
Does Kansas City have fans?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Not many.
Not enough.
5,000 or 7,500, something like that.
Okay, so it won't move the needle too much.
What's Bill? 7,500 too for the Bills. 6,000.
Yeah.
Packers have a few, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Yeah, no, they don't.
The Bills have a few.
Bills.
Tampa does, but we won't see them until the Super Bowl. Yeah, no, I'm just saying of all the teams left. Saints,
Bills and Kansas City, I think, are the only ones.
Yep.
All right. Makes sense. Well, listen, this is a ton of fun.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, and
Marquise, I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And he's one of these games is going to get out of hand, shockingly, like always.
Browns.
I think it's the Bucks.
Oh, you mean like get out of hand, like blowout?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like shot. Oh, yeah, no, that's Bucks. Yeah, that's Bucks. If the Browns blow out the Chiefs, my God, what the hell happened?
All right, listen, family out there join us. We can't thank you guys enough. The million comments that rolled through here tonight. Being as we had 7 guys on the show tonight, it was a little hard to get to all you guys like we usually do, but we can't thank you enough. You guys drive the show. You make HUD radio. You make it easy when we put together criteria stuff because we know we're getting 1,000 comments and they're going to help drive what direction we go to. Tonight was a little more. We stayed in a lane tonight. We did a good job. We feel good. 7 guys, and we
guys.
Right up the middle.
High five, everybody.
Doug Stasek, BFA Productions. If you're not following them, go follow them. Listen, man, this is like this. I'm not even saying it is. It's the ESPN of high school sports. I mean, like me and Greg have talked about like watching the stuff you guys done for either PBR or different things like that, man. Like I'm watching Next Gen. Like I got Next Gen stats in front of me. It's phenomenal. Doug, tell everybody what you got going on and what you're doing.
Yeah, man. So basketball season right around the corner, covering a lot of South Jersey, looking for some games of the week. I think some of the exciting news is We're going to be streaming those games, not just on the BFA Productions platform, but also 97.3 ESPN. So we got some coverage. It'll be all the way to the bridge. And, I guess a bit of a teaser. So there's a real good chance you're going to be seeing a lot of these guys' faces for changing the game when it's come to the whole different dynamic, when it comes to the streaming, when it comes to making these types of things interactive and giving all the fans out there a voice. We've had a lot of great dialogue and conversation. And so I don't want to put too much out there on the table, but let's just say there's a couple guys that they have faces for radio. And so if you got faces for radio, then maybe we can make this thing have a whole different dynamic and a whole different reach. But listen, man, the greatest thing about being a part, and I appreciate you guys letting me kind of be a pinch hitter here tonight, is just the fact that, voice of the people. You guys have created a platform and a dynamic that people can kind of pop off, having an opinion. You respect the opinion. You beat the hell out of each other, but it's always in a respectable environment, man. And there's nothing but love. And when you have you create a platform that everybody feels that they just have a small part of, it just makes it bigger and bigger. And my hope is that, we can kind of create, for those of us old enough to remember what the hell Voltron was, maybe we can get a little bit of a Voltron thing going here down in the South Jersey Philly market. So nothing but love and much appreciated, guys.
Yeah, Doug, can't thank you enough for
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
I mean, long overdue. And StreamYard makes it easier, obviously, to be able to pull all this stuff off. But yeah, little teaser. Hang on tight. We're coming in for a landing.
And
we'll let you know when wheels touch down. Well, you guys will be the first to know. But again, you guys are awesome out there. You got some of you is not so smart. Nate as well for jumping on with us. Frank not here anymore. Let's thank our sponsors. We're always brought to you by our doc. Make him yours. Dr. Paul Vidal, SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. 2 locations in Jersey, Cherry Hill. Was it Cherry Hill, Princeton? Did I just butcher that again, Greg?
Cherry Hill, Burlington.
Yeah, I did the read differently in my head. Yeah. I messed up. It's on me. I'll talk to you Sunday. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Cherry Hill, Burlington locations. Find them on the web. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Dr. Paul Vidal, the best in the business. And listen, for all your team hats, allcampusoc.com. Discount code A2D. 15% off. We're givers. All right? Ask my wife. We give around here. Allcampusoc.com. Allcampusoc.com. Discount code A2D for 15% off your team hats. They don't have it. You're not a fan of Philly teams. You need something national. Don't stop DMing John Coyle and tell him Tom from A2D sent you. Follow up DMs. You have permission. PhillyDrinkers.com or run the promo. Greg, what's it left on the Nike? Like 6 days? 5 days?
Everything ships the 19th.
Everything ships the 19th. Okay. So
these hoodies shipped the 19th. So I think you got like 3 days left.
3 days left.
Or 4 days.
4 days, whatever it is. Get on there. PhillyDrinkers.com. We officially released our Nike hoodies. Make sure you get it on the back. No notes. Use code 2021 for 10% off. It's funny. We posted this on Facebook yesterday, and they put it as a COVID post because they can't read.
Oh, my God. I know.
They can't read code. Well, somebody wake up over there in your algorithm. Code 2021, 10% off your A2D Nike hoodies, PhillyDrinkers.com. Go to the search bar. Just type in Nike. The hoodie comes right up. Right up. Get it. You got 3-4 days left to order it. And I think that's all of them. I think I went through all of them. So thank you, everybody, for joining. We love you. What's tomorrow? Stay tuned. Birds of a Feather, 7:30, 8. They'll change the time 3 times at least. So expect Birds of a Feather and Chrome if he doesn't get stuck behind a washer. Somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock. Followed. Listen, this is big news. Followed by the Hockey Happy Hour. Finally, my boys, they get to talk. They get to talk some puck. They get to talk a little puck tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Listen, I tell you, a lot of things are the best in the business. Them boys been here from day one. Ain't nobody know hockey like them guys do. And tune in 10 o'clock tomorrow night, Hockey Happy Hour, live right here, HUD. Listen, wherever you're at, like, subscribe, follow, turn your alerts on. Alerts for all shows. Let's go. Giddy up. Jump in the conversation. And remember, Fan Friday. All right, Jake never makes the post in the morning, but Fan Friday, 9:30. I'm taking a lot of the guns out.
I love this.
Boom. Love you. Make a post one time. Fan Friday, Friday night, 9:30 start. Listen, little different dynamic. You get 5 minutes with us. You You come on, you know, next thing you know, I'm falling asleep because Rome's talking about Nick Foles for 3.5 hours. I love you, Rome, but we're going to have to limit you to 5-10 minutes now. 5-10 minute pieces. You come in, you get out so we can have more people on. Saturday, you know, we got tons of shows. We got tons of shows every day. Like I said, like, subscribe, follow, download, join the conversation. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. You want to help ATD grow? Go write reviews. 5-star pieces. 5-star pieces help you grow. For Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Ralph Delvecchio, Doug Stasic, Steppy, a.k.a. Greg Milakovic. The a.k.a. is his real name. We appreciate y'all. What happens? Try to close the show out. Like, I don't even know where I'm going. No idea where I'm going.
I-95. I-95.
Drive me on the road.
Damn.
Let's see that Tommy boy. Come on.
That's going to be
Is that the Chris Farley one? Yeah. I love it.
Well, that's going to be mean too now.
If you didn't know, best driver in South Jersey history. We're back on the road. We love you all. We out. That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
They did it. They did it.
Left. Beat left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?